by the Wave Show. I'm your host today, Clay. On my right today, we got Tony Tone, we got Coach Shu, and we have Adam. Now, we have some good special guests coming on today. We had a great weekend, but before we get any further into this show, we have a history lesson for you. Adam, as you guys can see, Adam, you know, he's got some new merch, some new memorabilia right in front of him. He's got a great picture of an old Knicks player. Adam, give us our history lesson here.
First, I just want to shout out Alexis Valdez, my son, for getting it to me.
Shout out.
But yeah, so this guy's Spencer Hayward. He went to a number of different places.
Legend.
Yeah, legend. Yeah, so he played for the Knicks. He was on the championship team when Magic won his first one, but that's not what the history lesson Clay is talking about. This man actually gave himself his own circumcision with a rock that he sharpened.
What?
That's what I said. I said, what the hell? Do you have any more facts on that?
No, that's just,
I looked it up, by the
it.
way. This is a proven fact, a proven story. He just nonchalantly was telling T-Bag the other day, and I said, what did you just say?
Yeah.
You just look at it, and it's like, you know, working in a hospital, you see so much about infection rates and all these things like that, and then you get dudes doing that over there with a freaking rock.
Yeah.
How's he not dead?
It was a different time, you know.
Insane.
But,
I thought that was one of the greatest facts I've heard today, so I thought we had to open the show with it. That's how great it was. But we're talking about greatness here. We're just going to get on to some other greatness in basketball. I'm talking about a 68-25 head coach, two-time SBC champ, two-time coach of the year, one-time district coach of the year, the Andrew Day.
How's it going, guys?
Coach, how's it going today?
It's great. I'm not sure how to follow up what the show started with, but
Yeah, it's a hard fall. I know I kind of set you up there for some failure, but I'm sorry. I could not have gotten through the rest of the show without bringing that up. I'm sorry about that one.
Absolutely.
So, Coach, wanted to bring you on here. You guys had a pretty good season last year. 18-6, 12-2 in the league. The only two losses being to Unioda, sectional champs. So, congratulations on that. And you had the Player of the Year in Emmett Garrison. How's this year looking for you guys coming off of your year last year?
Well, we're really excited about our team. We only lost one senior from last year. Kaylin Miner graduated, but so we have everybody else back and have a chance to, I think, be a pretty good basketball team. So we're a couple days into practice and we're excited about what we've seen so far. But obviously, there's a lot of work to do before we're ready for game one.
Right, and you say you have a lot of juniors coming back this year. Have you seen anything so far early in the offseason to say, like, hey, these kids have taken the next step in being the leaders and what we need to be and reach the goals that we want this year?
Well, I think a lot of those girls have already kind of taken that mantle. Again, you know, with only one senior last year, some of our younger girls had to step up and be leaders last year. So it's not so much a new thing for them as it is just continuing to take that next step and continuing to grow into that leadership role.
Oh, that's amazing, Coach. Now, you took over Dina, what'd you say, about 4 years ago? Is that correct?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so if I can remember, you kind of took over, and they're kind of at about the middle of the road most years, sometimes on the lower end, I feel like. And then you've really kind of turned around and built a great culture there. What's something that you put into, like, your coaching philosophy?
Well, I think there's a couple ways to answer that question. Number one is, just trying to build a culture where sacrifice is a high priority. And that means being willing to put others ahead of yourself and treating your teammates and everybody else in the program, putting their needs ahead of your own, because we feel like if everybody does that, then everybody gets taken care of. But I think part of, anytime you have a level of success, it's really a reflection of the people that you have around you. And I've been blessed to have some great staffs, some really good head assistant coaches, and we've had good players. And that never hurts.
Having the Player of the Year, I'm sure that makes your job a little bit easier as the coach.
When he was speaking on sacrifice, it's like when she came on, all she wanted to do was talk about everybody else. We're like, Emma, you're awesome.
We were trying to pry out of her. Please tell us how great you are. So, humble one there.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Coach. So we have men's legend here, Coach Shu, on our end. I know he wanted to ask you a couple of questions, Coach.
Yeah.
I got a two-parter. Number one, do you use all your scrimmages, or do you save one for tournaments?
So we save one.
Yeah,
You're allowed 5, and we use 4.
that's what I used to do. Now, or your scrimmages, I know it's probably it probably depends on the talent you think you have coming back. Do you scrimmage really good teams, or sometimes you schedule teams you think you can be more competitive with to build confidence? Does it change as your scrimmages advance through November? How do you feel about that? How do you plan for that?
Yeah, so probably a little bit of both. We try to schedule some really challenging scrimmages, so that we can get exposed. Better to get exposed in early November than it is in January. So
Very
we
true.
try to find some scrimmages that'll just absolutely challenge us and make us realize where we have to get better. But on the other side of that coin, you don't want to thrash confidence either. So we try to maybe find a scrimmage or two that will help us build up confidence. So I think we try to do both of those things, challenge ourselves, but also allow for us to build some confidence.
Yeah,
That's where relationships come in. If you have a good relationship with your players and they believe in you, you get your butt kicked in a scrimmage. But if you have relationships with them, they understand it's okay. We're getting better. This is going to pay
Yeah.
off down the road.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
absolutely.
if you don't have those relationships, they might turn on you early.
Sure. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
attest to that.
Well,
I completely agree. Only because like if you don't have those relationships and you lose in that scrimmage, if you have a good relationship with your coach, you can look at it and be like, if he's not yelling at me, we did everything right.
Oh,
We
yeah.
just lost.
I,
You know what
I
I
would
mean?
ask Coach if he was okay the days he wasn't in my face calling me a dumbass. So I had to make sure. I'm like, Coach, you're all right? You haven't yelled at me enough today. Andrew, I know Adam had a question here for you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, Adam.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious. What's your favorite drill to run when it comes to just in practice every day?
Yeah, as I answer this question, my team will probably get some cold sweats, but I could do defensive breakdown drills all day long
Oh,
and
geez, I'm having
be
PTSD.
really, really happy.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it. I wasn't the best at
I mean, I
offense.
could do a whole 2-hour practice just breaking down defensive drills. So we do a closeout drill at the beginning of almost every practice, and every time I say it, you can just see the girls try not to roll their eyes in front of me. But things like that are what
Yeah,
get me
Coach
going.
Shue
As
loved to do this awesome thing where he'd make us run like 40 stair laps around Paint Valley and then key slides for 20 minutes. So I'm sure
Yeah,
he can help
yeah.
you out with those defensive hell days.
Or do an Indian run beforehand. And
Yeah,
then
it
doing
was.
the slide.
She was like,
Nothing
"How can I
wrong
make
with
them?"
key slides.
Listen, I will tell you firsthand. I got through my boot camp because of Coach Shue's training.
As you know, basketball, if you have to stop and think, then you're going to be a step behind.
Yeah.
If you like that closeout there, you do it every day. At some point, your girls are going to do it without thinking. It's just
Yep.
automatic. The repetition creates that. So that's why you
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Coach,
especially early in the season.
Yep.
If we can just drill things in and get them ingrained in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season, then we don't have to spend as much time on it because, like you said, the girls just naturally get it and they know what's supposed to happen.
Do you spend a lot of time telling them, kind of coaching them on the off season as well, kind of things to keep up with or something? Because just like you said, if you can come in with a platform, you can just kind of build on from there. You give them any
Yeah.
homework?
So yeah, thankfully, our girls work really hard and they want to work and they want to get better and they want to get in the gym. So, with a lot of our girls, we have the chance to work with them, over certain periods of time in the summer and girls that don't play fall sports, we get a chance to, do some shooting groups and things like that with them in the fall. And, like you said, it goes a long way because if you're able to get those things in the off season, you don't have to coach those things as much during the season.
So, Coach, I want to ask: do you have a lot of girls on your basketball team that play volleyball, or any?
We do have some, not as many as in other years this year.
Right.
But there are certainly some girls that we'll count on this year that are still playing, and
Right. So
obviously we wish them the best.
Yeah, I
and,
wanted to
and
ask
we'll,
that because obviously them going later in the season, I mean, literally 35 straight sectional titles. They just won the 37th all-time district. So every year you're probably fighting I love volleyball. When do you come into the other side of the gym? Yeah, so because I remember when I was in high school, my sophomore year, like I said, I go through Coach Shu's conditioning, worst 2 weeks of my entire life. Then I learned my junior year, if you make the playoffs, you miss conditioning. So I found new motivation to make the playoffs every single year. How do you handle the some of the players kind of coming in a little late? Obviously, I know you're not mad at them because they're in enough, but how do you help incorporate them after maybe missing the first week or two?
Well, I think there's a couple things. Number one, we try to teach the girls that are there really, really well those first couple weeks, so that when the girls come back from volleyball, not only am I able to coach them, but the girls that have been there can kind of pull them aside and say, "Hey, make sure you're doing this, and make sure you're seeing this," that kind of thing. And then we also we just assume that volleyball is going to make a long run, so we don't schedule any scrimmages early on.
The sun's going to come up in the day, it's going to go down at night, and Nadina's going to win a volleyball.
Yeah.
I think on FanDuel,
that's pretty much how it is.
Let me ask you this, and I've never thought of this till now, but football shape was not basketball shape
at all.
Completely different. Is volleyball shape different from basketball?
No, it's not. It's not. There are some similarities and some things that definitely help in both sports, but in volleyball you're playing one half of the court, where in basketball you're sprinting up and down an awful lot. So
another thing about my conditioning, you know this. My conditioning was not all about conditioning. It was about to see who had the heart.
Sure.
To keep
cut in half after the first day
I was looking to see who had the guts and the heart to do what it took to win, and getting in shape was just a secondary part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
shape, but I did die.
Obviously I went to Paint Valley and played there. So Clay, I had to run those same stairs that you did. So
don't worry.
if you're looking for sympathy, it's probably the wrong place.
Oh no, trust me. So I dreamed. I remember running those stair labs, dreaming of the day to coach there. And I've been to Paint Valley Junior High and JV coach, and every year, first week, I'm like, look, I don't know what it's going to do for us. We are running these stair labs because I am taking my frustration out on someone.
Absolutely.
So yes, I've got to finally live on both sides of that, and I'll tell you, the one watching is a lot more fun than the one running. For
no
sure.
Question about it.
Well, Andrew, we again thank you for stopping in before you head over for some open gym. We're looking forward to you guys this year, and honestly, you continuing the great tradition that you've built there as Adina's coach. I think Coach has one more question for you.
So, Andrew, I think you know that your grandfather and my dad were like best friends. Do you know that at all? Or has your dad even told you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, both great men in their own right. And then there's your dad, who I go to the Dina Hospital, and does all he do is just sit in that little room as you walk into the pharmacy?
So that's actually my
have
uncle.
a job out there.
Jim's my uncle.
That's right. That's right. Sorry.
And
Uncle Jim.
Dave, I try not to claim him if at all possible. But you just brought it up, so now
you've outed me to the entire world now. Okay.
Now hold on a second.
I feel like
Are you talking about the nice gentlemen that live in the that work in the that work in the outpost?
And Jim will tell you about his high school athletic career. No. Don't believe it.
About as good as
my favorite Jim Day high school basketball story is the time when he was after a game. They were going through the good game line.
Yeah.
And he got punched in the face. That's Jim Day. That's Jim Day's athletic career.
It wasn't a Paint Valley kid that punched him, was it?
I think it was.
I think it was too.
He's like, well, that one's true.
I think he might have been the ball boy.
His name wasn't Dave.
I think he might have been the ball boy. I'm not sure he was even on the team, but let's move on.
Our ball boys had living hell. I remember PJ McAllister one time got put into a trash can
Yeah.
before a pregame. So
And I knew he was your uncle. I misspoke. I'm sorry, but
Are
No,
either
it's
one of the
all right.
volleyball
my
players-
point stands.
The volleyballs that are playing, is it Brindley Preston or Corinne Day? Are they on the
So
team?
Corinne's my daughter. Yeah.
I could have put that together on air, but I'm reading this and I'm like, look at the amount of blocks that they had this year. They were like the freaking Twin Towers.
I used
Yeah.
to sub at Adina, and his daughter was one of my favorite students because she would always talk to me about Paint Valley and Adina, and she got a little the Day family in her for sure because she was kind of cocky and funny. But yeah,
kind of cocky and a little.
she was great.
At least
Hey,
you don't
one
have
more
to worry
thing,
about one
guys.
of those volleyball players being rusty.
Yeah.
You know she's not going to be rusty.
You picked up. How's volleyball? Great. So we're running this tonight.
I don't care how practice was.
Can I do one more quick question?
Yeah,
go
get
ahead.
that free throw line.
Andrew,
Yeah.
I know Unioda got another transfer. The Hamilton girl who was at Fairfield which was where
Yeah.
my son went to school and where his wife taught before she quit to raise the kids. But she's a point guard, and they say she's. Have you seen her play? They say she's, if not as good as Miley, right there.
She's really good. She played
I
at
can
Eastern
see
Brown.
the disappointment in this face. Yeah, yeah, she's good.
She played at Eastern Brown her freshman year, and we played them then. And even as a freshman, she just does so many good things on the court. So, they were really good last year, and they've gotten even better. So,
I mean,
we're
Union
gonna-
will be picked to win it, but you guys will be right there, right?
Hey,
Or you'll be
Unioda
picked
doesn't
second
have the
for
reigning
sure.
player of the year coming back.
No,
on their team.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These guys are the ones that give Unioda the most trouble,
Yeah.
by far.
100%.
Yeah, so
Did you have
Yeah.
something to say?
Yeah, I did. So Tony, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're from Philly.
Yes, that's me.
I watched the show last week with Coach Williams,
Well, thank
and
you.
one of my best friends, Bill Betson, is a Philly guy, but he lives here in Chillicothe,
You're the
and so we took a trip there this August, just so he could kind of show us his old haunts and all that kind of stuff. So I have to ask you the question, and I'm going to say it the correct way. What's the best flavor of water ice?
I was a mango.
Wait. First. Did he say it the right way?
I was a mango guy, and yes. And the thing is,
All right.
do you know why I had to stop saying water? Is because people don't understand you. I went to the Unioda game and asked for a water. He said what? I corrected and said water. Okay? I swear to God, you think I couldn't make this up on the spot? I swear to God that happened at the Unioda game on Friday. But my favorite place is Mango. And what's funny is we were at a Sixers game, funny story. There was this lonely Utah Jazz fan happened to sit in front of us, and we were back from Christmas break.
R.I.P. to that Jazz fan.
Dude, we're roasting. We're trying to see a little. We were just being nice to the woman he was with and different things like that. So either way, he orders his water ice and he goes, I'll take mango. And we're like, oh, you would, buddy. Oh, mango. Oh, yeah. Literally, as soon as he walks away and goes to the bathroom, all of us look at each other like mango's the best flavor, dude.
Mango.
All six of us were in accordance. But sorry, I digress.
That's awesome. Well,
Rita's was a big thing for us, which
Rita's
which
is good.
Italian,
Yeah.
Italian ice.
you even got somebody else at the Unioda game.
I'm
giving
like-
you a shout out for the bread. You're going home a little bit here, dude.
I'm getting pretty excited.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, again, we want to thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully, this is not the last time we had you. We had a lot of fun having you, and good luck to you on the season.
Well, hey, on a serious note, I do want to just say thank you to you guys for just for all the coverage you bring to these high school athletes and for all that you do to put them out there because they work really hard and so it's really cool what you guys are doing and I'm honored to have been on here tonight. So thank you.
Heck yeah, Andrew. Thank you. We're honored to have you, my man. And ladies and gentlemen, the absolute winner, two-time coach of the year at SVC, Andrew Day.
thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, guys.
Man, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know I was going to be that good of an interview. He was awesome.
He's great. He's great.
I suck at getting compliments. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, all right.
God, dude, thank you so much.
I'm
for
not
those
used to getting
words.
compliments. I'm used to getting yelled at.
Well, it's hard, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get negative feedback and stuff, and like to hear that stuff, like we joke around and we have fun on the show and stuff like that, but we're real people and we take some of the stuff people say to heart and things
Yeah.
like that. So it's like when you hear those things, it means a lot.
Especially after the Friday, we got so many compliments from the Urbana
Urbana
people.
fans were so
Urbana,
excited about
I
it.
think Urbana might be our biggest fan group.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
By the way, typical answer. I gotta give a shout out to the Swedish Fish Water Ice as well.
Water
Because
Ice.
it's Swedish Fish. They teamed up with Rita's. If you're ever there, get Rita's. Trust
So
me.
water. That's water.
It's water. We say water, so you
Why?
can say water, and it's water. It's just how we say it.
Okay.
So
You
it's
don't
like,
know.
like Mario, things like that. Like it's just different. You come out.
You
here.
mean Mario?
Yeah.
Like home.
Gary,
Home is down here. We say home.
Gary
instead
and
of
Philly
home.
Hahn always told me that the famous Philly cheesesteak place is not the best.
Not at
place.
all.
Yeah, they
Oh.
said the place of the tourists go. No.
Yeah. It's they're side by side and they make two similar cheesesteaks. They make two different style cheesesteaks. One of them's clean, upkept, not that greasy. So it's like that style, where the other one is like literally wear gloves mess.
Trash can
cheesesteak.
food. Those- that's
And
the
it's-
best
and that's
food.
The thing.
That
So
is
it's what
the
do you
best.
want? So you pick those two. Neither one of them is the best, but it is at 9th and Passyunk, which is the court that I talked about getting my booty hole kicked in.
Oh yeah. I was
Made
like,
two
wait,
shots, got beat up, and was just like, I'll never shoot again, I promise. I don't even want to play anymore. I'll walk away right now. But yeah.
Hey, speaking of
D'Alessandro's is best.
Speaking of walking away, Tony, we had to watch one of the legends walk away after last week losing. Unio's season came to an end, as does the legendary career of Lucas Haynes. So, Lucas, good job. If you guys don't know about him yet, then you obviously have not tuned into our show ever. Lucas is the reigning champion of goals at Union. I don't know why I said reigning. That has nothing to do with it. He's the goal.
I kind of like it. It's
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, but yeah, he is the career goal leader at Uniota, which is a historic soccer program. So that is definitely
I like reigning gold champion better.
yeah. Great goal champion sounds a lot better than that.
It really does, because
Yeah.
it could honestly, it could be like a field goal champion. It could be
Yeah,
not.
it's got-
I
it's
never,
got- it's got champion
never
in
saw
the
him miss.
title.
I was going to say he did not miss a single field goal all season.
I wonder if he did.
I didn't.
I never heard of
If he
that,
did,
but
it
I'm
wasn't
just saying-
documented.
And it wasn't when we were there.
Dude, something documented I want to talk about is these. Have you seen these memes coming up online? I sent these over to you, Derek. If you could pull some of these up, it has been absolutely awesome.
Memes online. What is that? I've never heard of a single meme online.
Shut up. so me and Adam kind of came across these over the weekend. They took a bunch of these like Disney characters, true, and turned them into like rappers, like on like cover artists and stuff like that. One is Lightning McQueen. The other one's like Hey Arnold. The other one's like Blue's Clues. So you have
some
it here.
Peter
So
Gri-
yeah,
there's some
this
Peter
is Blue's
Griffin.
Clues as a rapper. I'll tell you the caption real quick. Let me pull it up here so I can see Blue's Clues. So the caption is, she wanted me to dog her out, so I blew her back out. That is Blue's Clues right there. Hey, show the Hey Arnold one. The Hey Arnold one is way better.
See, I saw the one where it was superheroes and it had Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, this is Goofy. Found out Mickey was a rat, so I had to kill him with the gat. It's Goofy. Oh, like, jeez Louise, man. This is the Hey Arnold one. Used to be nobody, now everybody's saying Hey Arnold. Yeah. The best one is Lightning McQueen. It's spent all my time racing after the bag, and I lost McQueen.
Nah, dude. The best one, I don't think we have it. But
Yeah, we
it's
don't.
Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
Even at its lowest, he's still a family guy.
Dude, it was legendary.
Bro, the one that they did the superhero ones a couple weeks ago, and it was Spider-Man. He's like sitting up there all sad, and he's like, everybody wants Spider-Man when Peter Parker walking by him every day.
Yeah.
I thought that was so fire.
Yeah, we're talking about things that we saw over the weekend. I had to bring that up. Another thing that we saw over the weekend was some good college football. Oklahoma, Kansas had a thriller. Did you see that one?
Oh, absolutely.
Dude,
Did you see that one?
me and Adam don't want to talk about that one.
Yeah.
We were like, Oklahoma's down 2 touchdowns. Best time to put money on
Better
them.
hammer that money
Yeah,
line.
because they're going to win now. They're underdogs, and they didn't.
It was close, though.
Did you see what the students did with the goalpost?
They took it all the way to the
Threw it in the
pond.
lake?
Yeah.
Like, what? I had
And
somebody.
Can I say this? If you're gonna rip it out and bring it all the way to the lake, can you get a unison throw?
Right.
The ending was so weak. It stuck like 1 inch into the water, and then they're trying to shove it in. I'm like, come on,
Dude,
guys. You
I
just-
I
you
heard this
just get
one
in
guy
there,
say,
1,
he
2
goes,
hook.
I understand you losing and want to tear down your stadium. Why when you win, do you tear
Yeah.
your stadium down?
That
That's
makes no
something I
sense
never
to me.
understood.
Those could have been perfectly used in a repurposed stadium like Eastern.
Yeah.
He literally
Yeah.
was like, hey, you guys are getting rid of your goalposts. Can I get those
Yeah,
back?
it's like, hey, guys, I know we get goalposts. We're
I'll
going
never forget that
we're
Eastern
going
coach,
fish.
dude.
Dude.
That Eastern coach being like, literally like, well, we got used goalposts.
Hey, shout
We
out to him. They beat Shady Side Screw you, Shady Side.
F
They beat
Shady
them over the
Side.
they beat them over the weekend. So
I'm not gonna lie.
thank
Shady
you,
Side
Coach.
sounds like a retirement home. It sounds like they went down and beat up on some 90-year-olds.
No, the Shady Side beat me up when I was in the school. So that's what. Another thing is Ricky and Cal were cited at the Texas A&M game. If you want to pull that one up there, Derek, as we all know, Ricky Bobby and Cal Naughton Jr.
Oh, I did see this.
They are absolute dogs. Here they are, just enjoying some good Texas A&M football.
Do you know my favorite costume?
Which one?
One that you barely got to do anything for. Those men did nothing but change the colors on their chest. They already look like them. Like, that guy's mustache, that's his everyday mustache.
Now, you have to have Ricky Bobby in front here because, you know, Ricky's first Cal.
The only way would have made it better is they would have had Cal in front and he would have slingshot
it in
around.
That's not as easy as a party I went to. It was a Beatles party. You had to dress up like, you know, a Beatles character, Sergeant Pepper, Dr. Robert, or whatever. I didn't go to the party, and I told everybody I was Nowhere Man.
Oh, that is a good one. That is slick. How to, A, get out of the party, and B, still act like you were there. I mean, that is, take notes, ladies and gentlemen, because I need to be that slick myself. Staying on the college football, though, Ohio State squeaked one out against Wisconsin. You watch any of the game Saturday?
Yeah, and I'm sick of this narrative. You know, anybody else can win a close one, and they gutted it out, they stuck it out. When it's Ohio State, they barely got by, they barely squeezed by. This defense is elite, man.
Yeah, and McCord got hurt, right?
Yeah, and I'm tired of the Michigan. You know, they haven't played anybody.
Yeah.
They've played nobody. You know, we've beaten.
Hear that, Andy? Nobody.
They played nobody.
We've beaten Notre Dame and Penn State.
Hear that, Notre
really
Dame?
Good team.
Yeah, that Penn State game was a defensive slugfest, too.
I mean, when you really look at it, it really bears in if we want to talk about some betting. A wonderful wager that I made was about 2 weeks ago, Marvin Harrison being like plus 2,800 to win the Heisman with 4 bums in front
That
of him.
guy might win the Heisman.
Caleb Williams stinks.
Well, because you got Bo Penis, you got Travis Jones.
Did you say Bo
Travis
Penis?
Tritt.
But you got
Is that his name?
is
that not his name?
you got the guy from USC that's not playing
Henry
great.
Penix.
Caleb Williams, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
No, he can't
I'm
win because
telling
he's
you.
got too many losses. The Penix guy, Penix, is that what his name is?
Bo Nix.
when
No, the Washington dude.
I was
thought
like,
he was talking
what
about
are you?
Bo Nix,
I
'cause
thought he
Nix
called
sound
him.
like
You guys are
Dick.
dumber than me.
I thought you called him
He's
Bo
the number one in
Penis.
the Heisman right now. Is Michael Penix.
Phoenix. Michael Phoenix.
yeah, and
Oh,
Oh, the
Anyway.
transfer from Indiana.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about here.
the guy from Michigan.
McCaffrey.
No, the guy that does the college game day. He was
Howard.
The one that records
Desmond
them
Howard.
Desmond
on
Howard.
the phone?
Yeah.
The one that records them on the phone? That's like Cecilia or whatever.
He was yelling.
Cheater.
What was he yelling? Big energy penis, but he was saying penis. I swear to God,
I'm
he was
telling
saying
ya.
penis.
See?
Yeah.
What's also, you saw
love
that one
this
video
show.
of the guy, but of like almost saying F. Did
Yeah.
you see that one?
Yeah.
It was.
It
He said funky.
Mm.
It was close. It was close. Don't get me wrong. I think what
It was
like-
close, don't get me wrong.
But who puts a Y at the end of the F word anyways? Besides Trailer Park Boys.
That's true. That's true. It's been a little.
It depends on the context, honestly.
That's true, I guess. Hey, speaking of context, we have another crazy photo for you to look at here. This is an Air Force player. So Air Force is 8-0. I think they're ranked what 21st.
I know they're 5-0 conference players.
Yeah. So they're undefeated in the season and in the conference. And
It's hard as shit to play there at home.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
The altitude's crazy.
So this player's name is Trey Taylor, okay? To give you a little insight on a day in the life of Trey Taylor, this is on CBS Sports Instagram page. At 6:30, he wakes up. 6:45 is his morning formation. So I'm sure you know.
I'm
you know
having
what that means.
flashbacks.
Yeah,
I was
know.
about to say he's late.
Yeah, 7 o'clock is his breakfast. 8:30 is astronautical engineering.
Yeah, when I showed you, I said
Yeah,
this to
I had
Clay.
to
I
make
said
sure
that
I
was
read
my
that
problem
right.
with all of
Yeah,
it. That was my problem with all of it.
Astronaut. And after that is philosophy. Then at 10:30 is business ethics. Then 11:35 marching and formation. He has lunch at 11:50. 12:30 officer development. 1300 to 1800 is football practice. 1950 is dinner and film. 20:45 is homework. And then he wakes up at 6:30 and does it all over again.
If you have trouble reading the course name, you may have trouble in the class.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Trust me, Coach. I barely made it out of high school.
I don't know. I went
that
into a
whole-
gender studies class and I got an A.
Yeah, but that whole reading that whole thing was like, this is going to be difficult already. Plus that particular class or course.
Yeah, so I
nothing.
looked at Adam.
I'm
I was
good.
like, man, his guy's doing all this and playing football. And I said, screw football. He's doing all of that and doing astronautical engineering. Like, jeez Louise.
You have to realize, like, even in free time, they have stuff like, and it's like when it's like homework time, there's still patrol.
There's
Like,
no
there's
free
somebody
time.
walking
You don't have no
around.
free
Like,
time.
that's my whole thing. It's like, even when you hear about like these little gaps, because I'm listening to the time, and there's a
Yeah.
couple little half-hour gaps in there, and I'm like, what's he doing there?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's nothing. It's literally taking a dump.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
It's
that's-
like I
that's like-
finally have time to breathe now.
Yes.
Like, but yeah, Adam said that to me. I thought it was amazing. I also saw the greatest shirt of my entire life. It was a Florida State shirt. I think I sent a picture of this to you as well, Derek. It says circumcised Florida, just the tip. And it is a shirt with Florida State versus Miami having the bottom of Florida cut off. And I thought that was – I know you're not a Florida State fan.
Well, okay, yeah, if it's against
But,
Miami, that's fine.
yeah,
'cause
that
just the
is
tip doesn't get Gainesville out of there.
Yeah,
Yeah, Gainesville's still in there. We're good.
Yeah,
that's
that's so.
tip, baby.
I saw that over the weekend, and I was like, man, we got to talk about that because that was one of the greatest college football shirts I've ever seen in my life. Talking about greatness, let's go on to the NFL, and Myles Garrett is pissed. He talked over the weekend saying that he's mad that the MVP has basically just turned into a quarterback award. Coach, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree with that. It's like I said, the NCAA best player in the country is Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, 100%.
It should go to him. Doesn't have to go to a quarterback. Same
Right.
way in the NFL.
Yeah, you have a best quarterback in the league award for a reason. That way the MVP can be an MVP.
So who technically would kind of be the front runner right now?
I don't know. Everybody's saying Patrick Mahomes, and like I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes is
that
great,
was-
but like
after last night?
that's what I'm. No, that was before last night.
You know
So
what I
I don't know who would be. That's what I'm saying. I'm a Browns fan, but I would have to say Myles Garrett beat the Colts by himself.
Well, there's been plenty of times where, like, like a J.J. Watt when he was coming up, like, in
Yeah.
his prime, like, he could have been, like, the guy to win it and stuff
Yeah.
I
like
mean,
that. But,
Jalen
yeah,
Hurts has been kind of bummish
I
at
mean,
times.
I would say Randy Moss on the Patriots should have been an MVP over Tom Brady.
Tyreek Hill could be the MVP.
Yeah. So
He's got 1,000 yards already.
yeah, I was about to say he's about to get 2K.
Yeah.
yeah, he's
And the guy for Philly, the receiver for
A.J.
Philly.
Brown.
He even
A.J.
broke a
Brown.
record for most consecutive 125-yard receiving
Yeah.
games.
And
Yeah.
did you
And
see
not-
that catch? There's a
Yeah.
bunch of one-handed catches, and you're like, all right, dude, this is old.
Yes.
That's one of those ones where you're just like, jeez.
Yeah.
That's
The old time receivers like Moss and those guys, they don't like the guys with the sticky gloves.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they had the gloves on.
Yeah.
You don't really realize it, like, because there's like you buy your Dick's Sporting Goods gloves for high school. You try to put your hands by it. Yeah, it's crazy sticky, but like you get those NFL ones, put your hands together. And
They
try to
can't
pull
pull
them
'em
apart.
off.
You will not.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
insane.
mean?
Sorry, what were you saying, Coach?
Back in the late 70s, I mean, this was way before you guys were even born, but the Raiders, when they had Fred Biletnikoff and some of those great receivers, it was before those gloves, but they would put this stickum like
Yeah.
all over, like bathe in this stuff. And there's a story where they said one time Biletnikoff wasn't looking and the ball just stuck on his shoulder. and he pulled it off and ran.
It's like, okay, we should probably start looking into that now. The ball's literally just sticking to their bodies. What's not sticking is Joe Burrow's camouflage as a human because he actually showed up to the game this weekend in his natural form as an alien. If you guys want to check this out, yep, that is Joe Burrow's natural form
And he
before
played
the
like
game.
an alien.
Yeah,
That
that's
dude.
you can't really see it with the helmet on. I got to practice against him. That is what he looks like, but I had to
He's
sign a
trying to- He's
paper.
trying to trick us. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's
Shout
not-
the
it's not
Fresh
really
Prince of
me.
Bel Air fire.
Yeah,
Pants.
yeah. Shout out. Yeah, aliens have good taste.
Those
Yeah.
are.
We've been asking a bunch of people if aliens are real. Joe Burrow, is that even his name? If he's an alien, how would you say Joe Burrow an alien?
Maybe not.
Does anybody speak alienese? All right, all right.
That'd be
so-
my first guess.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I
I didn't want to mispronounce it.
Yeah,
I got
you
I
know,
got a bad accent.
it's
Gotta
one of
keep
those
it-
I was
I
just
before
talking to
E's
somebody
word.
about it the other day. That's the only reason it rolled off the tongue.
Oh, so you know another alienese?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So where did you go train for your alienese?
To be honest, like I said, it was a military school I went to.
Oh,
high
you.
school at, you know. Once you get kicked out of Catholic school, you know, you gotta go to military school. Next thing you know, you're with the aliens. Bing, bang, boop, boop. You know, you're here.
Are you saying the aliens are Catholic?
Saying they're in the military.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, because you got kicked out.
No, he's saying Catholics don't like aliens.
Oh, gotcha.
They're more of like save a horse, ride a cowboy types.
Save a horse riding cowboy. Hey, I'll tell you how to save a horse. You get an old horse to do the work for you. And I'm talking about Adrian Peterson saying that he still has something left in the tank and wants to play after being out of the league for a million years.
The only thing I'll say about
been a
this
million
is
years.
I do not want to be the person that says we don't want to sign you to a contract because I feel like Adrian Peterson will then take a direct path to the first tree that he sees, find
yeah,
a nice
exactly,
size
yeah.
switch, and come back in for that. He's got something left in the tank, and the person that tells him no is getting the first switch that he
I didn't
finds.
know if you were
bud.
being serious about it, so I was trying to wait for my pinpoint to do that.
Adam's like, I'm over
I
here
was
like, I don't know.
And then he said right to a tree. I was like, okay, somebody's doing it. We're good.
Yeah,
We're referencing the fact that he openly beat the living crap out of his son with a stick.
stick.
Discipline, okay. Stick, probably not.
Stick.
Exactly, that's my thing.
Probably.
You're
He's-
Adrian
he-
Peterson, dude.
Yeah, he's
Like,
got-
your fingernail
Your
is probably
hand,
good enough.
Your hand is a steel
know what? Like,
trap.
I saw
you're
what you
Adrian-
did in Oklahoma.
If you're Adrian Peterson, you go ask some stranger that's smaller than you to spank your child.
Yeah.
You say, hey, sir, with the tiny arms, come here real quick.
I heard that the way he was taking a child is he just told him to stand there and try to tackle him, and then he just started running over
Yeah,
him.
it's like, and that would be more fair to me. That's like a litmus
That
test.
would be more fair. At least he has pads.
Yeah,
for it.
I mean,
Kill
the
him.
stick, you're adding things into the equation now. Come on, man. You're already good enough.
You're already good enough.
All that being said, good luck, AP.
Yeah. Speaking of other,
Come to the birds. I'm fine with it.
speaking of
Well,
other,
back to the Vikes.
speaking of other Vikings that are
They
dead, Kirk Cousins is dead. Did you see that he tore his
Jeez.
Achilles? He's officially dead. Hey, this should be good for Vikings fans. Maybe you can like finally stink for a whole season, get rid of Kirk Cousins, and then
Why
get a
were
good
they so
quarterback.
sad?
Yeah.
I
don't
like
understand.
Kirk. I like Kirk Cousins.
I
like
get
Kirk
it. I'm
Cousins,
just
but I think
saying,
that-
like-
I think his time with the Vikings has been 2 years overdue as a non-Vikings fan.
See, I like him. I think he gets too much unjust hate. I will say this: as soon as I picked him up this week, because Brock Purdy went down with a concussion last week, I picked him up and he gets me about 20 fantasy points, and then just
I'm like
dies.
smack dab in the middle on him because I feel like I agree with what the Vikings did with paying him money. What else is he going to do?
The biggest thing is he's no chance Kirk is what I always call him because he
No
doesn't
Yeah,
take
but like,
chances.
what's your other option? Kind of like sometimes I feel like it's like, oh yeah, get rid of Kirk. Then what do you go do? Pay $208 million
back
for a
to-
guy
No,
that
dude, you
sits on the
draft
sideline?
Caleb Williams.
No, you
Duh.
pay
You
$200
go
million
back to
for a
Christian
guy that sits on the
Ponder.
sideline.
Christian Ponder. Man, those are some good years as a Vikings fan. weren't
Yeah,
they?
Deshaun Watson.
The thing about Kirk Cousins is, and this is, and it goes a long way in how I judge a player. You read or I listened to all the interviews. His teammates love him.
Oh, he's an awesome guy.
They love him,
I love Kirk
and
Cousins.
that goes a long way for me.
I just think he should be.
They loved him in Washington too,
So they-
even when he was a backup.
That's when I started to love
Argue.
Kirk Cousins. Is
You
he
like
was
that?
he was still showing up in vans like mine, and he was making millions and millions of dollars, and his was about as fixed up as mine.
Yeah.
So, that's what I thought was
I've
amazing.
been wanting Kirk Cousins to leave the Vikings, like be traded to do better and do him justice.
so
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Get him to
I
a
mean,
team that's going to win.
I
him
think the
something,
Jets
you know?
would love him.
That's
right
what
now,
I'm saying.
in a
He needs to go
heartbeat.
to a team that would wants him because you're about the only Vikings fan I know that wants Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And
Trade
I
Kirk Cousins for Aaron Rodgers and give us Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
like we had
Adam's
in
like, yeah, I'm
top
all
five.
on board with that.
It's what's the other option? Some free agent quarterback going to be like, man, I'd really love to go to Minnesota.
No, but Drake May would probably look good in the gold and yellow. Is that what your guys' color like?
Yeah, we're the purple people eaters, dude.
I didn't know if you were like. What I just
Purple.
just
You
said
said
gold
gold
and
and
yellow.
yellow.
I was like, I knew that didn't sound right.
It's
Purple,
purple
yellow.
and gold.
Yeah.
Purple and gold.
All right. Hey, speaking of
Do not check his search history.
shut up. Hey, speaking of search history.
Golden showers over here.
Uh-huh.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Sicko. Speaking of search history, it looks like the Commanders did a little bit of research. Lose to the Eagles, but they did something that no one could do. They stopped the tush push yesterday.
They did. They did.
How'd you feel about the Eagles win yesterday?
I didn't feel too scared about it for the only reason of it's like, oh, they finally got the people that can stop the tush push, and then they're immediately like, trade them all.
Trade 'em all.
Like Chase
Yeah.
Young, Montez Sweat, get out of here,
I
bud.
thought they fumbled the snappers. I didn't think it was stopped. I thought that they
I thought
stopped
Jalen
themselves.
fumbled it. Yeah, he kind of fumbled.
Yeah.
It.
They
Immediately was a turnover.
They
wasn't
did
it?
stop it twice though. I think
Oh.
we did it another one, and we have. It's not like 100% before, so I
It's
feel
like-
like they stopped.
yeah, it was
the first
100,
time.
only
It
like
was we could do it a
95.
second
It was
time.
like 51 to 58 last
Yeah.
week.
If this is unstoppable, I think they should get the ball in the 20 and just run it
if it's
15 straight times,
if it's
3 yards
my
at a
whole
time.
thing is then everybody else do it.
Yeah.
Why is not every other NFL
Everybody
team?
else is
Why?
trying to do
Because
it.
we have Jason Kelsey.
Yeah,
why.
that's. I think Jason Kelsey and Jalen Hurts is the
He's
100%
small.
reasons why it works. Yeah.
Jason Kelsey is like almost he's way undersized for a center. So it's like when you sit there and I feel like, I don't know if it's the way he gets low and has that upward power that allows like people to kind of come
It's
in
his
behind him.
eyebrows. It's where he gets his strength.
It very well freaking could.
His eyebrows when he gets
It's
his
like-
strength. Oh my
There's nothing
goodness.
wrong with caterpillars.
It's like 2 marmosets over his eyes. Dude.
Oh man. All right, so getting back into high school, there is one place that I kind of want to put on blast right now.
Urbana, you pieces of... Oh.
No, Urbana's very good.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually the OHSAA. I've been seeing a, dare I say, shit ton of posts over on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram all weekend, basically put them on blast because tickets have skyrocketed to like $15 a kid. And basically, the playoffs that you used to know are dead. I remember coming out in the playoffs, and basically the whole stadium is completely packed and everything like that. And I saw multiple videos of multiple different stadiums with almost nobody in there. Coach, what are your thoughts?
Obviously, I don't like it. It's a ripoff. It's a cash grab for the OHSAA.
You might have more light on this. Where does it where's their overhead? Like, why do they need to charge more to pay someone
They
else
have no
more?
overhead. The
thing is,
schools do everything to get ready for the game and everything.
We're freaking getting wrecked everywhere else. The grocery store. I'm not even trying to be this way, but the grocery store, everywhere in our lives, like these people want to come watch a football game. Why do they don't have more employees? They're not doing anything different. They're not shipping things in. Why the hell is it more money than it used to be? Nothing's changed.
I don't know this for a fact. I do know that when I was athletic director, the OHSAA paid the schools like $2,500 or something, and then they got the gate. But why they start charging this much, I have no idea. But if you look at a school, we're a rural area in Paint Valley. If you are 2 parents and 3 or 4 kids, it was $15 for parents, I think 12 for a kid, or no, it was 12 if you bought them ahead of time, I think, online, and you had to pay cash if you came to the game. Well, a lot of people don't even use cash anymore.
And at that point, it's almost $50 freaking dollars.
Oh no! If like 2 parents was 30, and then you got kids 12 apiece. If you got 3 or 4 kids, and then you're going to eat hot dogs.
There's no way you're not
going to
eat
get
something.
water.
Yeah.
You have
You
to
just spent
drive to the
$100
game.
trying to go to a high school.
And
football
a
game.
lot of schools
To
don't-
show support.
a lot of schools don't charge for parking during the year, and then when playoff comes, they charge like $5 a car to park to make money, and it's not good. We had a tiny crowd. I bet we didn't have 15 kids at the game Friday.
That's what I was saying. It's taking away from the kids, which, like, multiple things that I remember from high school is the kids going to the high school football game, cheering, being able to be there, and that's basically being taken away from them after so many other things have already been taken away from it. It's just sad to see.
And when you played at Shady Side, I know we got beat, but we had a huge crowd.
Yeah, and it was in Zanesville.
They drove all the way to Zanesville. Yeah,
Right, but people aren't going to drive all the way to Zanesville if they have to also pay, like we just said, $60, $70 just to
Well,
get
the
in.
fencers aren't going to go.
And
The people on the fence, they're not going to go pay.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to
and
be
Friday,
the
the game was at Paint Valley. And
Yeah.
we had no crowd.
Yeah.
The older people they're not going to do that. It's a mess.
It is.
But I heard there's been legislation.
Yeah, I read that on Facebook today. They're trying to,
They're going to try to get it passed.
because they did that with the Ticketmaster as well. They try to
Yeah.
they get them on price gouging and stuff.
This is my thing about price gouging, and I don't think it's too hard to differentiate. If you can prove that your company has to put out more money to give you what you want, then you can charge more. That's fair.
That's
But
not
if
the
there's,
case.
that's why I asked where's the overhead? If
Yeah.
nothing's changed
No,
from
it's-
1992 to now, why is it more?
I don't
That
understand.
was just a random decision. We're going to up the price.
You know what changed on Friday though? Union's win streak. It went down to 0, and they got beaten a tough battle. Newt Hoops ends his historic career. Let's just talk about the records that this kid broke, okay? So Newt Hoops finished his career most passing touchdowns in the game with 6, most passing yards in the game 349, single season completion percentage with 66%, touchdown passes with 32, passing yards with 25-65, career passing touchdowns with 62, career passing yards 55-71, and career completions 392. So congratulations to Newt on a good career. Now, these Unionota seniors made the playoffs 3 out of 4 years, with one of them being a gold ball, back-to-back 9-win seasons. Finally brought some respect on the Union name in football, but man, was that Urbana team the best 15 seed I've ever seen in my life.
They really did just have some athletes that were absolutely crazy. When you saw them, like, the size differential, I'm like, okay, like, I've played against kids that were, way bigger than me that just weren't that good. Maybe they couldn't control their body, their legs, his arms as well, but it's like that just was not the case. That was literally like you had a stud quarterback with a bunch of, like...
The stud quarterback, Donahoe, let's get this right. Donahoe was the quarterback, the safety, the punter, the kicker, the punt returner, the kick returner, the coach, the defensive guy. I mean,
You
this
still
kid
missed
was
one. He was the gunner.
Yeah, like this kid was
the gunner.
everything. He was
I'm
the
pretty
kid.
sure he was out there coaching band too.
Yeah. Well, somebody told me. I think it was Coach told me that he was an amazing baseball player. I'm like, what the hell does this kid do? Pitch it and then run behind the plate and catch it?
Yeah.
I mean, he ran by us in front on the sidelines, and I blinked, and he was 10 yards down the field. I mean, that's just talent that you didn't see all year.
I saw a little bit of baseball in his trajectory. Like, the way he threw the ball, like, there wasn't a lot of loft to it. It really was line drives. And I think that's, when you look at guys like Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson, a lot of these great, like, quarterbacks that can throw on the run can throw through their wrist.
Yeah.
And it, like, makes these different style of throws. And you saw he's got something a little special.
He also
there.
had some giant wide receivers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
we walked in and Adam's like, well, those two, gonna remember them.
What's number 7's name?
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, and then what's 21? That's gonna be Aiden Bradshaw.
Yeah.
I was just watching that game behind
Yeah.
you. I was like, number 7? Like, right when you guys had some big wide receivers, like, that guy's
Yeah, that guy right there.
He's not just tall; he's thick too.
Yeah, like, I mean, so, yeah. And, again, I don't know what's going on
coverage
with the
is so
point
good.
system for them to have been a 15 seed, but, like, that was insane. I kind of wish they were a 16 seed. I would have loved to see them and Clinton Massey go against each other in week
According
one.
to some in the chat, if you lose to a team by less, you're better than them. So Chillicothe is actually better than.
Oh, yeah,
Urbana.
we did learn that. Yeah,
Yes.
I forgot
Yes.
about that.
Chillicothe, despite not being in the playoffs, is a better team
I don't know why
than
you would
Urbana.
I don't even know why you would try to correct somebody and say that. It's like, oh, whoa, their show call doesn't suck. They lost by less. It's like, okay, yeah, you're right.
Sorry,
you're
you're
right, man.
They lost
You're
to
right.
London
Sorry.
by less than y'all did. They're better than
we
you.
would have covered their game tonight. And we're not crapping on Chillicothe. Just don't.
We're just crapping on that specific
We're
comment.
also the ones that say, Unyoda, Chillicothe, make it happen.
Yes.
Like,
We
said,
did- yes.
Chillicothe had a down year this year because they had a very tough schedule and they had some.
You know what made
injury
that schedule a little bit better? They play Chillicothe. Or, sorry, they play Unioda. Just because
Just
at
do
least,
it.
I don't know, Chillicothe playing Chillicothe could have been cool, too.
well, that would have been sweet. And then one thing Coach said was, kind of picking teams that are going to make you better or worse
Yeah.
or different things. And I,
Yeah, dude, the first thing I thought about was that Chillicothe football schedule.
you know what I
bro.
thought about?
What?
Zane Trace. I'm like, Zane
Yeah.
Trace comes in, plays a couple tough teams, loses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really
Tough
didn't come
teams,
into
though,
the
that
season.
are around their skill level. Not tough teams that, like, you are here, and they are clearly here. Like,
Yeah.
you're not getting better. You're just
They
getting...
still fooled us, though, because I'm coming in
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, they just must recycle right
I would say
now.
there's
Yeah.
another
Gotta
team that
recycle.
fooled us, played a little bit easy 3 games to begin the season and then didn't do so hot when it came to SVC.
Okay. That's all I gotta say.
No, that, yeah.
No, that's,
okay,
yeah,
I mean,
but yeah. But yeah, you're talking about Zane Trace. They lost. We thought they were dead, and then they came back. They win basically every game up to the Unioda game. Play a tough one there, but hey, caps off to Dylan Ware on a successful first season for him, making the playoffs, getting to round 2. They hosted a playoff game last week and this week. We will actually be there on Wednesday for our game day show. So Zane Trace, make sure you're showing out for that, and then we will be covering that game on Friday. So, hey, last time we were at Zane Trace, we had a good crowd out there, and Tony, you had to take some shelter because Adina played some pretty good offense.
Yeah, let's just hope Zane Trace wins.
Hey, no,
okay?
we can be
Because-
biased, remember?
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have to
nice.
cheer for the team now, so we won't
Oh,
get
dude,
shot.
'cause it's Zane Trace Adina, and
Sure, we were
Adina,
calling this game right in the middle of Zane Trace's stands, and
and
it was
Adina
it was
has
bad.
like they're not even really necessarily winning. Their plays were just way more electric.
Yeah.
So he is just back there over the entire stage. Adina shaking, mate. They have nothing for him, nothing left in the tank. Zane Trace has nothing on the 1 yard line. Touchdown. And I'm literally sitting there just like,
You guys are great.
hey
though.
guys.
Yeah, you guys,
are
hey,
great.
big ZT guys over here, but
I'm like, I'm the Zane Trace guy here. He's the Adina guy, so like beat him up, and I'll just call the rest of the game. It's cool. Like,
yeah.
He's a piece of crap, Hayden.
Jeez Louise. Speaking of some teams that were an explosive offense, Westfall had their season come to an end, but man, was it a great season. I mean, whenever you can stop another SVC school from making the playoffs, that's a successful season,
Yeah.
if you ask me. So they stopped, and then Wickline, a.k.a. the realtor, as we named him on that last week. He was actually the leading passer in yards for Division 5.
Where did that come from?
His coach let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, he sent in an email that I read a week later. Definitely read it on time, though, if you're watching Logan Step. He sent it to me. It was going into the playoffs, so I don't know after the playoffs, everything like that. But at the end of the season, Bryce Wickline, a.k.a. the realtor.
No, that's what I'm saying. Where did the realtor come from?
Oh, we called him that on. I don't really know, man. He was just getting so many yards that I just called him the realtor. Don't know where the correlation.
I had no correlation.
Yeah. Don't know where the correlation came from.
He was gaining real estate.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's you sit there and it's just like. And
sometimes I don't remember how I come up with stuff.
And for some reason, like when you hear realtor, it sounds official. Yeah, like it's a nickname you want.
Yeah,
that's what I was like, how did you guys give him this nickname? And how can I get you guys to start calling me this?
And how do I get one that?
What do I do to be called the realtor? But yeah, that was a good game to beat to. Honestly, looking back on it, I kind of wish we went out to Westfall a little bit more. We kind of dropped the bag on that one. They were some good. I mean, we said every place was great host, but Westfall, extremely great host out there.
They have an electric offense. I said it last week. You didn't really get to see it in the playoff loss, but it was there. It was there.
I'm not laughing at what you said. I'm laughing at how you said it.
I know.
Yeah, they had a really good offense. Not in the playoffs.
It didn't. I didn't say that. I said they didn't get to show it off in the playoffs.
So you said not in the playoffs, but in a different way of saying it. Okay.
A nicer way. Because I like this Westfall team.
Well, you know what I like? Star Wars. And there's a new Star Wars movie coming out. Have you heard about this new Star Wars movie?
I have.
So
I didn't until you sent me the trailer.
Yeah, I know. I thought that the Star Wars series was officially over. And then I saw this trailer coming up. It has great production. Shoot, you'll love this new movie coming out. We'll show it to you guys here as MVD and Andy get it pulled up here real quick. Now, the trilogy, the middle set, that was actually made before the first one. Now, here's the new one. Look at that. I think that's Luke Skywalker's cousin going up against
Now,
this guy.
wait. Someone understands the assignment.
Boom! Oh, he's screwed. Oh, the cone out of nowhere! Randy Orton!
Out of nowhere, that cone was forced moved into that spot, dude.
Oh, when I saw the guy run over the cone, I'm like, we might as well call that cone St. Brownfield.
I just really like how he comes in just all hot boy as hell, just
drops
and the
it.
guy's just like, I'm gonna have to deal with this guy. He's pretty good. He drops it, and the guy's just like, oh no, it's on now.
Shit, what do I do?
Good stuff.
Oh
Good
no.
stuff.
But yeah, that had me absolutely cracking up.
It reminds
man.
me of if you've ever seen the movie Never Back Down, so like an MMA movie. There's this guy doing like all these flips and stuff like that. And as soon as he lands, dude punches him and knocks him out one punch. It's kind of like that. Like he's doing all this crazy stuff.
It's like when you're having a good interview and you're talking to a coach and you're like, "Hey, did your daughter play for your
Yeah. I saw this girl. Her last name is Day. Your last name is Day. Is there any correlation?
Yeah, that's my daughter.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, crap. Yeah, something like this. Like, that's my daughter. And you're like, amazing play.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, they were like the
thank
Twin
God.
Towers out there. They like both. They really did like lead the league in blocks. Or they were like 1 and 4 or whatever it was. But I was just sitting there. I'm like, blocks to blocks. Volleyball players coming in, SWAT skis.
So yeah, but like we said, at least one of those girls is gonna be prepared when she comes to basketball.
Yeah, because she's hearing it every night when she gets picked up for volleyball.
It's like, all right, we're going to practice, and immediately after practice.
Like, Dad, I got to practice volleyball in the driveway. And she's like, hoops over there, hon.
I like
Hoops over there.
I like how you said that video though, where that person's just standing there at the door, kind of like minding his own business, and then that person walked up and they're like, "Okay, well, I can't like just let this guy come up to me and beat my ass. Like I gotta make a business decision here." And then when the guy drops it, he runs away. But it looked like he would need some. It would look like after a fight like that, you'd need some stretching. That'd be a little strenuous.
I'm
use of
loving
force.
this.
Yeah.
He's trying to cross over so hard.
I got it because we're here. But you gave me the face because we're talking about a sports LMNT precision neuromuscular therapist. Opened her own practice, worked with multiple professional athletes. She's a stand-up comedian by Lori Graves being there for her, the great Lori Graves, an absolute winner of life, Misty V.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, Misty, can you hear us?
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
sorry.
Misty, how's your day going?
And good. It's a little bit lagged, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Like this seems lagged, but it's good. It was a busy day, but I'm home now, ready to have some fun, right?
All right. Yeah. So, hey, Misty, I know you've done a bunch of amazing things in sports. I promise you I will get there. But not going to lie, I was looking up your stand up comedian acts today, and I have to be honest with you, I was absolutely cracking up. How did you get into comedy? Can you kind of walk us through that a little bit?
Oh man. All right. So, man, funny story, but not. I became single in 2019, and I mean, I'll just be real. The majority of the guys that were asking me out were like in their 20s.
Where are you from?
Originally, I guess Hillsborough, Ohio.
You have you like been around the city? You like
Yeah.
you're a dog. Like you sound
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
like somebody that would grow up from my area. That's the whole thing. You remember the guys that are asking me out? Like I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm just saying like very East Coast swag.
Dude,
there.
you're right. She's
You're dull.
she's amazing.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, but I ended up dating a younger guy, embarrassingly enough, maybe not. But anyways, I literally woke up at like 3 a.m. and I thought, man, my dating life is like a lot of jokes, like a series of them. I
My dating
literally
life is
wrote a whole set at 3 a.m. And by 3:30, I was emailing a comedy club asking if I could go on. So I literally told jokes about my dating life.
That's what, so I saw Lori Graves was at a few of your shows. Did she have any influence on you or anything like that?
Huge. Thanks to Dave Shoemaker there. She became one of my comedy mentors. I absolutely adore Lori. I think she's amazing.
Yeah, we had her on one of our shows. I've been to a few of her comedy sessions, and it's raunchy, but it's a good time, man. It's amazing,
Yeah.
dude. So I want to ask you, Tony here. He's kind of in not exactly the same field, right? But you do a little.
I love when he talks about this stuff.
I hate you. I hate you so much, Tony. You know a little bit about this, right? Take it away. A little
I cut
bit.
my teeth with outpatient physical therapy, but now I do post orthopedics, so I do just hips, knees, and spines at AOSI over
Okay.
there.
But
I'm certified in soft tissue mobilization. Don't come on now.
I thought you were
Come
done.
on, I'm certified. Like when I first got into outpatient therapy and things like that, I saw what soft tissue mobilization did for people. So I went to Rock Tape and I got a couple certifications and
Nice.
things like that. So I'm not an LMNT. I have a lot of friends that are. A couple friends like Maggie Smith and Nikki Boggs out here. But that being said, I really understand how important this stuff is because. For these guys, I'll give them a quick tip, but it's like if you go to places like India or other countries, like a lot of their stuff isn't surgeries. They can't do them, they don't do them, stuff like that. So they rely on specific techniques like she has, whether it be pain patterns and just, all that stuff, to crazily heal these people. Like there's somebody from England went to a bunch of different countries, went to America, they told him it'd be like 50 grand, we're going to give you a new shoulder, went to India, started doing these things, and these techniques, he was blown away how he was told, thousands of dollars here, but could go down here and get actual, like just real rest, real good gentle mobility and move the muscles around to where they should be, and he came out like a way better person, not needing, he's not 100% healed, I'm not saying that, it's not a miracle, but it really, really does some great things that keep people away from surgery, and honestly, away from like missed games or anything.
Right, and I saw Misty with you. You used to be a marathon runner, if I'm correct, and kind of came onto this. Can you kind of tell us your journey about why this started to become so important to you and why you wanted to pursue this?
There was once upon a time, way before I ever started lifting weights. All I did was I was a distance runner, and after about 8 years, I started getting like repeated stress fractures, which is a slight break in the tibia. And 2 years in and out of PT, and the ortho, after they had done like vitamin deficiency tests, they had did everything that they could possibly do with me. They had done gait analysis. They couldn't figure out why it kept happening. So eventually, this ortho just looked at me and said, maybe you just shouldn't run anymore. And I thought, how is that an answer? At the time, I was only in my 30s. How are you going to tell me that this is the end? Like, you can't find anything wrong.
You never tell
So
people to
anyways,
stop moving.
yeah, just stop moving. Don't move. So I worked in radio at the time, ironically, and a coworker of mine had said to me, I work with an amazing precision neuromuscular therapist. She doesn't take insurance, but give her a shot. And at that point, I just thought, I don't have anything to lose. Like, I need to keep moving. So eventually I went to go see this lady, and within 90 minutes of torture, I got off that table and I knew immediately something had changed.
Now,
And
why do
within
you
two
say 90 minutes
appointments,
of torture? Like, what
because it's
describes the
not
torture?
an
That's
easy
exactly what it is.
treatment.
Okay. Like
Like
painful or
TPR, so though I promise you, even with the techniques
It's
that I have,
so
you are
painful.
considerably better than me at this. But I could feel around in your shoulder, find that knot. I like to close my eyes. I don't know if you do. I could find that knot, and when I do, I'm in it. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm gonna find it. You're gonna be like, "Oh, that's it." And I'm gonna be like, "Really?" That's just one technique. That's like
Gotcha.
TPR. So it's like a lot of what this is finding, because almost damaging that lump helps kind of spread it out too. Like, it's torture, bro.
okay.
Yeah.
She knows way more. I don't mean to interrupt. I feel like I'm dumbing it down. I don't know.
Oh no,
I'm
yeah,
like,
you're
I'm like,
it's like our interpreter.
translating.
Yeah. All right, sorry, Misty. Back to you.
No, it's fine. So, anyways, after 2 sessions, she said, "I want you to try running. Tell me how you feel." And it was the best cadence I'd had in years, and that was in 2013. I haven't looked back since. I haven't had one stress fracture since. I get regular treatments now, and by 2014, I said, I want to change careers. I don't want to do corporate America anymore. I want to go back. I want to help people. When traditional medicine says no, I think there's another answer. So
Bet on yourself
traditional
too.
medicine
I mean,
typically-
because
Yeah.
I mean, you were in marketing and then go into this, right?
Dude,
I mean,
that's
so it's-
exactly what I did. I
Yeah.
literally, everybody's like, "Oh, you talk so well. Go into marketing." I'm like, "Yeah, this is really cool. I don't like talking to any of these freaking people."
Yeah.
And I actually made a career change and went back for physical therapy. and that's
Trust me,
what
it was hard to get him on the show to just talk to us because he doesn't like us either. Coach,
But before we get to your, you know, what you're doing now and your relationships with professional athletes and everything,
Yeah.
do you want to talk a little bit about, you know, I had Misty in school.
Yeah.
And when she was 12 years old.
yeah,
That's when I first met her. And she came from extremely small area. And for her to get, you know, where she came from to where she is today is remarkable. The girl has no walls that will stop her.
yeah.
She'll go over the top. She'll go around the side. She'll dig her under. She'll do whatever she has to do to achieve her goals. Do you want to talk at all about, you know, your younger life and where you came from, or if you're comfortable with any of that?
Sure. Well, gentlemen, you probably know where Rainsboro Elementary is.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody? No?
Yeah. I've heard of it, but
So
I've
not
never
far.
been there, obviously.
Literally, like, just anyways, I just remember my family and I had moved here from Texas, and you know, we came from zero money, zero anything, and I grew up in a family that nobody was educated, nobody went to college. I didn't have any role models, I guess you could say. None. Actually, I didn't even know what anybody successful looked like. The majority of the people in my family were just getting by, I guess. And I didn't really even know what real parenting looked like. I just kind of floated, you could say. I had sisters that were getting into a lot of trouble, getting into drugs, having children at the age of 15. Just not an easy life. So I was lucky though, because I knew for one thing, I did not want that lifestyle. I didn't want to live that way. And I did not want to become what any of the people around me, or even a lot of the people in my hometown, were becoming, sadly enough. I didn't want that life. So I started to identify early on different people in my life that maybe could see something in me I didn't see in myself. You know, like the always the pat on the back that you might get from somebody like David Shoemaker, and even other people in my life, someone that would stop by and say, you know, you did great at that. You're really good at that. You should do more of that, whatever it was. So I became really great without having an additional role model at all in my life. I became great at identifying people outside of the life that I knew as my role models and inspiration. So I started learning quickly how to tap into those resources. I wasn't afraid to ask for anything. So when you have nothing, you're not afraid to lose anything, right? So
Right.
That's right.
I quickly identified how to tap into those resources throughout my high school years. I had teachers that believed in me so much, even if I got into trouble and started to fall back and doing what some of the bad things that my family done in the past. I always had a teacher that kind of came forward like, you're better than this. So I did. I worked my butt off. I did have a child a little young. I was 21 when my first son was born. It wasn't a planned pregnancy, but that also was a great mountain I had to climb.
Right.
I now have 2 children. They're 24 and 19, but I climbed a lot. I went through a lot of growing patterns. I've had amazing mentors and inspirations along the way. Uh, I still continuously give thanks to those people because where I came from, a lot of people don't make it out. So
And I want to kind
yeah,
of go off of that too, because I've seen, I saw you got to go to Paint Valley for their town hall meeting, which is amazing to get to do. You got to talk to Huntington. I've seen you've been coming back and giving back and telling your story and helping kids that maybe, were kind of like you, where they didn't have that mentor. They needed somebody to give them that pat on the back, give them that kind of confidence. What has that role in your life now felt like since you've been able to go back and do that?
huge. Oh my gosh, huge. I almost want to get teary-eyed thinking about it. I remember when I decided to try and start doing that, I woke up and I thought, man, I'd give anything to go back to 12-year-old me.
Yeah.
It's really gonna be okay. Like, if I
Yeah.
could go back and tell her, like, "You're gonna have this amazing life, you're gonna grow, you're gonna be successful, and none of these things are gonna matter someday because you're gonna create this whole beautiful life." Man, I wanted to go back and tell 12-year-old me that so bad, but since I
But
couldn't,
you didn't
I
even know what
decided
that
to
looked
start.
like. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
grew up in a similar circumstance. I had a good upbringing too.
right.
Just lost my mom when I was
You
young,
wouldn't
so
know.
it's my dad worked really hard, and just like as you were saying, I really related with you. Say you find these role models in your teachers and in these people around you, even if it's not fully taking that person and being like, oh, everything this person does, even if hey, he's really good at holding the door for somebody or something. Like you find your role models in these
Right.
little things that it is. Like I really appreciate what you said about that.
Yeah, and
Thanks.
Misty, I got to listen to some of your speech, and I got to go to the town. I got to do the town hall meeting. Obviously, not nearly as cool as she was. Not nearly as good of a message. Not
I
even
was
close.
gonna church up me like it
No,
was
Coach
pretty
Combs
good.
was like, "You want to do this?" I was like, "I know who's done this, man. Like, I don't know why you're asking me to do it." But I thought you were just super well spoken. I thought it was amazing for you to be able to kind of maybe talk about an area of your life where most people wouldn't be able to talk about that and help those kind of kids, especially in places kind of like Huntington and Paint Valley and that kind of area. There's a lot of great people out there, but there's some sides of Paint Valley that not everybody sees unless you go driving through the hills or go to the school.
But when she spoke, when you spoke at Paint Valley and Huntington, after she speaks, she interacts with the kids, and every single time there are these certain kids that come down, and you can tell that they're truly touched by this.
Yeah.
And she gets their number and their Instagram and all that stuff, and she interacts with these kids. But you can always tell the ones that it truly, really hits home with.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
What did and you said that just one day or one night you just decide like I need to tell my story and help out some kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
I do. It's this time of year, it's a little bit difficult because
Right.
of my schedule with the office. But as soon as things free up, like that's my goal to just get out there as much as possible and share it as much as possible and hit some of those small town schools. I don't,
Right.
not that the larger schools couldn't use me too. I just find I can find somebody that has a lot in common with me and who I
Yeah.
was when I was 12. So at some of those smaller schools.
And you're talking about you're in the busy. Adam, did you have a question there for you? I thought, okay. Adam raised his hand normally when he does that question thing. I was like, I don't want to miss you. But you're talking about this time of year is a little bit harder for you. It's because you're working with some amazing athletes, right? Can you kind of go through what you're doing now? Everybody
Yeah.
has now wiped their tears with the amazing success story, the tearjerker we had
Well,
there.
yeah, it's like I don't want to. It's like I don't want to sit here and like be like Debbie Downer about
Yeah,
this. But the thing
it's
is, like,
amazing,
when
man.
she speaks on
It's
this and these
amazing.
things, like this is the stuff. If one person is listening, one kid that says like, "Hey, you can make it from this,"
Yeah.
it's I don't know, man. Like that to me is huge.
Before she tells some of the people she's met, I was at her office, and she's got pictures on the wall,
Yeah.
And she's at one point she said, "Yeah, that's so and so," and I think that guy coaches somewhere, and it was John Gruden that was.
John Gruden. This
Posing
guy
with her.
did something, I
said,
think.
"Yeah."
I'm not-
I said,
think-
"Yeah, that's John."
I think.
Andy, MVD, I think I got some pictures sent to you if you want to pull those up. But yeah, Misty, you're
Misty, I got one question real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
When you start from the bottom, okay, and you get a time in your life where you get to say, he just said it, your office or my office, come to my office or stop by my office or this is my office. When I got the my office, I was like, oh no. I was like, that's when I felt like I had finally made it, man. That my office. Like, wait, how nice was it when you got your first office? Be honest.
Oh, my first office. So as soon as I went to school, I took classes as fast as they would allow me. I even traveled the country at the time to go ahead and finish my precision neuromuscular therapy certifications. They allowed me to do that even though I wasn't technically medically licensed yet. So I was sharing a space with my mentor by 2015. And within 9 months, I'd outgrown the days that she'd given me. So I went and got my own office by the beginning of 2016. I had my own office.
Did you play the
Yeah.
Drake song, Started from the Bottom, Now I'm Here?
Now I'm here. As soon as you walked in.
As soon as you got the keys, did you or did you not play the Drake? I digress. Sorry, I'm ruining this interview.
Oh no, you're absolutely killing it because we didn't know anything about the song stuff. I was like, yes, Tony will
Well, I
know.
still didn't get to ask. Do you have a favorite technique? You don't have to go into it, but is there something like for me with cervical patients, like just whether it be, I really like instrument-assisted soft tissue, so I really dig in. I cause those microfissures. I really like that stuff. That's just me. What's your favorite?
Yeah, I think Graston's great, or scraping, or all this stuff. And I think those stuff, obviously that's easier for your body and your hands so that you're not hurting so much by the end of the day, I guess. But I've actually developed a few techniques to help runners become just a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So especially with a lot of my athletes, those are techniques I enjoy using. And when I see games and I see any of my athletes playing in those games, I want to see how well they're moving. I love to see it when they have great games. Like, to me, it's a big shout out, right? And to be fair, I'm just a small part of their care team. They're choosing a lot of other people, but to be a part of that is just huge for me. So anything that I can do through the hips to posterior chain, improve their breathing during some of those sprints, that's typically done with my own hands. So those are my method.
True. So you're talking about your method. We were kind of touching on there a little bit. You're working with some amazing clients right now. I mean, absolutely amazing. Can you kind of go through, some of the people you've been working with, what you're doing now, and everything like that?
And there's been so many over the years. I worked in Major League Soccer for almost 4 seasons. I had some greats. I got a really funny story. Man,
we're here for it. We are here for the funny stories.
I wish.
Or great stories.
I'm not gonna say his name.
Okay.
But let me just say, in 2019, I can't say his name because I don't want to get into trouble. This actually wasn't someone I worked with, but it is a funny story. We were actually in Bradenton, Florida for preseason for Major League Soccer, and we usually spent several weeks there. And I remember when my team was out training, I didn't have much to do. So it's Florida. It's January. I went for a run. I came back, and we would share this facility with like maybe 6 other teams. So there was I came back from a run. I had a pair of shorts on, and we had like a shared fruit bar that we all left out all day for all the athletes to share. So I remember coming back from this run and grabbing a piece of fruit. And there was this guy, I don't even know if I should describe him. It might be a dead giveaway. But anyways, he looked old enough to be a coach. I didn't realize he was a player, and I didn't realize he was anybody because I didn't come from a world of soccer. I had no idea who big names were. And he reached down and he touched my leg and he was like, "Great tattoo." And I'm like, ugh, whose coach is this?
Get away from me, Dad.
Get away from me, Dad.
This old furry man. So the next day, we're scrimmaging that team. And I see him run out and take the field to warm up with goalie gloves. And I'm like, that guy, I was with the injured guys. And they're like, I'm like, that guy plays for a team. They're like, do you not know who that is? And I said, I have no idea who that is. So they tell me his name, and I'm like, huh. And they're like, you should probably Google him. I'm like, maybe I should.
Maybe I
so I Googled him. I'm like, oh, he's
pretty
like
good.
A big deal.
But that's better than fanboying. Come on, that's better than fanboying.
No idea.
So did Ronaldo get back with you after all this?
My name is Cristiano.
My guess was David Beckham.
So a few days later, I catch him in the gym, and I walk in, and he calls me Cincinnati, and I'm like, how did you know who I am? He said, I know a lot of things. I said, well, while we're talking about that, I actually thought you were one of the coaches. I didn't know you were a player. I thought you were just kind of perverted. Anyways, long story short, by the end of the season, he ends up asking me out.
Hey, we have to know the answer.
Shocking.
Was it yes or no?
So I did. And to be fair, I knew that he was somebody of such a public profile that this was probably just not going to lead anywhere, but it would be fun. So I'll never forget, we get to dinner and we're having drinks. And he's just like talking to me and sharing stories. And he's going, and he keeps like choking up. And I'm like, what is this dude's problem? So eventually, by the time I'm like, 3 glasses in, I'm like patting dude on the back, like just helping him get it out.
Come on, buddy. I remember my first time
Just
drinking.
after it is, it's good. So after that night, he sends me a copy of his autobiography, and in it talks about how he grew up and became such an amazing athlete. And one of those tributes was the fact that he has Tourette's.
Oh no.
Oh,
I spent
Why
dinner
can't you just lead
trying
with
to
it?
knock the Tourette's out of this guy.
Do you know what I mean? Why can't you just lead and let your
It's
girl
starting-
sit
it's
there
starting to
across from
sound
you and
like-
not worry about it? Like, you can
You
literally
know-
be like, hey, I have a mild form of Tourette's. I do a little bit of...
We're gonna figure out who this is now.
I already know who it is. I already know
Don't
who it
say
is,
it.
by the way.
What's
I
funny is
swear to
don't say it.
God,
Don't say
I
it.
already
Don't
know
say
who
it.
this is.
She
Don't
left
say
out
it.
the funniest part of the story is 3 a.m. that night she started her comedy career.
She was like, damn, this is the peak, right? this is where my new career begins.
That is good.
Oh man, that's I can't imagine like, buddy, all right? And he's just like, yeah, what?
I literally just got problems. Like, he's coughing so much, I don't know what to do.
he's like, I would have been like, man, you tell me all the stuff about yourself. You couldn't say you had Tourette's. I'm like, jeez Louise, you started talking for a whole hour.
I was reading this book and I started texting several friends like, you won't believe this.
Good.
Best
So
story ever.
you're big into paddleboarding. You go somewhere in Florida. I don't know exactly where it is, but
Yeah.
how did you get into that? Is it a way to just ease your mind and relax?
Yeah.
You clearly love it.
I think a lot of people use like sleeping to relax. I don't know, or napping. For me, it's just getting out on a board. But I want to say it was 2018.
Paddleboarding.
Okay.
Paddleboarding. It's a lot bigger than a surfboard.
I feel
easier.
miserably out in Jamaica. I'll never do it again.
But I saw an ad, I think, on Instagram for paddleboards, and I bought one. It was $800, and I didn't even know if I'd like it, but I was like, let me try it.
You have
So
to be
I
a
remember
real
taking
athlete
it
for
over
that.
to
Yeah.
a local lake.
That's the reason why I will never do it again is because I am not her.
Oh, dude, I couldn't even stand up on the thing.
It
I
is.
can't
It's
follow
wild.
it.
Balance
Yeah,
thing
It's
for
such
sure.
a thing, and to be honest with you, her would probably be better than most just when it comes to
Yeah, dude, I couldn't even like. I would go to stand up and I would just fall right over.
I was just going. I'm giving it my all, and I'm like, 5 feet.
5 feet.
I'm literally.
I've
like,
been doing this for hours.
I was like, I can't even make it back to shore, and I'm only 5 feet off. Current's going this way. I'm the worst.
Oh, that was
amazing.
5 feet. That's amazing. Misty,
So you need to come to Paint Creek and go kayaking with the crew here
oh yeah, kayaking with the crew
yeah.
is a
You'd love it.
whole ass experience.
in the spring.
Mhm.
I think paddleboarding, I actually keep up with quite a few kayakers.
You'll
And I
probably
think
pass
paddleboarding-
us.
The reason why you will pass us is because we don't move. We
No,
sit in the kayak.
we
and the
plan to
current
be
is
attached
perfect.
to you. You pulling us.
Yeah,
You coasted.
yeah. Is this going to be like one of those bicycles
It's like
where
a
you see
guided
everybody
tour.
paddling, but you're just
A
the only
guided
paddler?
tour. She's
You'd
just
have
like,
to-
here
you'd
we
also-
have 5 degenerates getting pulled by a wonderful, upstanding human being.
You'd also have to pull a kayak full of beer as well.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that is one of the criteria. We'll throw you one, but you have to at least pull
That
it
is
with
Keith
us.
Stone. He
Keith
is in the
Stone.
5th.
Keith Stone. Misty, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. I know. I feel like I heard. Did Shu say you might be like writing a book? Is that right?
No, she's thinking
I'm
about
pausing
it.
the
But
book
it's,
for now.
Well, I'm first one to say I don't read, but I would read that book.
Carry around a recorder. Just start recording stuff. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Audiobook.
Well, it's like I'm starting I always wanted to do stand up, and I just kind of started writing stuff down in my notes, and I always thought of these funny things. And me being married with a 2-year-old, I come up with a bunch of, I'm sitting there, whether it be mannerisms or things
Yeah.
that I think are freaking hilarious, and I just started writing them down on my phone.
that's
And
a-
I'm like, if she's gonna write a book, she just records herself. She'll be like, damn, I'm cool like 25 times a day. Just record all 25 of those. You have a book in like a week.
That's another thing. I've always read about how stand-up is this difficult, and it takes years and years and years to perfect. She
did it in 30
decided to
minutes.
do it and stood up there for 15 minutes like she'd been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, and she rehearsed
Yeah.
stuff in
Where's
30
your
minutes.
Where's your accent from? Where do you feel like you picked that up? Like when you say certain things, like there's just an amount of sass to it that just does not come
There's
from
just
Hill-
an amount of
does not come from
She
Hillsborough,
goes,
Ohio.
it comes from within, baby.
Fun story. I actually I spent the majority of my younger life in Texas. Although my family was not from Texas, they were from Hillsborough, Ohio, and my dad actually took a job in Galveston, Texas, which is where I was born. So I spent
Great city, beautiful
about
city.
10 years there. Yeah, and I remember when we moved back here, all the kids made fun of my accent.
See,
so
I
worked
refuse to
really
believe
hard.
that was Hillsborough, Ohio. I knew this from the start of this damn interview.
It was Hillsborough mixed with Texas.
Started from the bottom, now I'm here.
I've only been to Galveston once. I went down there for a cruise, and I got in the middle of this like super cool car group with like a Raptor and a Corvette and like a Charger and stuff like that. And we were about an hour away from where my cruise was, and where I'm in the middle, they were all going like 100. And Savannah was like, "Well, babe, get out of there so they can pass it." And I was like, "Nope." And I sat right in the middle of that with my little 2010 Honda. I shaved like 30 minutes off
Come
the
on, it's just like the first date thing. Hey, yeah, when in Rome,
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
it's a life
I was like, if they
experience.
pull somebody over, it's not going to be the little red Honda. It's going to be all these nice Corvettes. and stuff.
Sadly enough, you might be the only one they can catch.
Yeah, exactly. I did not think that went through at all. Misty, so we want to thank you for coming on the Ride the Wave show, but we do deep journalism here, so we're going to ask you a few questions, and then we'll let you get out of here, okay? All right.
Okay,
so
sure.
Number one, you've worked with a bunch of amazing athletes. If you had to pick
Yes,
one
a lot of
athlete to
NFL
come to your
players.
clinic, who would it be?
What
It
do you
doesn't
mean?
have to
Like,
be one you
if I could
treated.
pick-
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one you
Okay,
treated, like
yeah, I
a
was gonna
random
say.
one, somebody you'd be like, he or she.
You just want to meet him. You'd be like, damn, that would be a cool person to meet.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I low key. It's not even low key. It's kind of a major fact. I crush on Al Horford big time with the Celtics.
right.
All right, Al
has-
Horford.
I like that. She has-
Adam's a big
Give me
Florida
some
guy, so he
Horford.
loves Al Horford.
She has his jersey.
Okay. Shout out Al Horford if you're
Now,
watching.
is there
You
a
aren't,
reason?
but-
Is he intelligent? Does he like
Yeah,
Euro
where did Al Horford come from?
So first of all, I'm a Celtics fan,
Okay.
but I just think I don't know. I don't know if it's how tall he is. I don't know what it is. I just think he's so attractive, and I love the way he acts after he makes a 3-point shot. Like
He's
it's just so
graceful.
hot.
I feel like he just doesn't
Very
age.
graceful.
He's like kind of Anthony McFadden-ish, where he like dunks on somebody or misses a shot, and it's just
And you're sitting
No
there
reaction.
celebrating for them?
yeah. That was me. I was the guy be like, yeah, he's way better than you. I'm not, but he is way better. Than
My friend is better than you.
My friend is so good. You don't understand. Okay. All right. Next question. Let's say it's your last meal ever. What would be your last meal if you had to pick it? Or favorite meal? Well, that's probably a little bit better way to phrase
No,
that.
last meal.
No, last meal.
Last meal on your deathbed.
like that
Yeah, on the deathbed. They say you get one more meal. What is it?
Man, okay, so we have a restaurant here called Smoke Justice, and they have these smoked chicken nachos. I would need some of those with some of their hand cut fries.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the meal. That's the win.
I like how you
That's
don't
the
go
win.
overboard with it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not like steak dinner. No,
Steak
no,
dinner
come
with
on.
the green beans.
I'm
and like,
on my damn deathbed. I
I want some nachos. Okay, this is obviously not a good
I
situation.
want
Smoked
something
as
I can
well.
save and put for later so I can put it off and eat.
so I can eat. I know this is my last meal, but I need that leftovers for my snack.
Yeah, obviously
It
this
is
last
a
meal's
nice
gonna
touch,
taste
though, when
good.
you really think about
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
You
With
said last
nachos.
meal.
Well,
You
the
didn't say
smoked
last
meat
snack.
on top of the nachos. That's what I'm focused on.
That's
That's
a
the key, though. It's not just regular nachos.
That is a
Regular
good one.
nachos, I might judge you. Reed.
Not even
Like,
just regular fries either. They're hand cut.
hand
You're
cut.
damn right.
Oh, well, yeah. For Misty V, you hand cut the fries. You don't. Just
They
give
don't
her
do that for
non-hand-cut
every
fries.
guest,
Yeah,
actually. They're
has
only
to be.
hand-cut fries at church.
Yeah, just Misty V. Misty, you have been absolutely electric. We thank you so much for coming on our show. Is there anything that you wanted to promote or give a shout out to before you get off here?
Man, I don't think so. I just want to say one thing. I say every day and twice on Sunday. Who day? That's it.
No. Go Browns.
That stands for Who Day Think on Beat Dem Bengals.
No,
Did you know that?
The Browns. The Browns are going to beat the Bengals a lot, actually.
Yeah, it
Sorry
might be
about
the
it.
only couple wins they get. You know what I mean?
Hey.
We're getting the clap back. From,
I know. I got the Michigan fan telling me I suck. All right. Well, Misty, it has been an absolute honor for coming for you to be on our show. Shu, thank you so much for getting this absolute legend on our show. Misty, we hope to have you on again sometime.
I'll be back. Thank you guys so
All
much
right,
for having
ladies
me.
and gentlemen, Misty V.
Thank you, Misty.
What an electric interview, Coach.
I got an equation for you. Jimmy V equal Misty V.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they seem pretty cool. I never met
solved.
Jimmy V. I think he's pretty cool from the TV. I just met her. She's pretty cool. I'm just saying, I think that's pretty equal. Sorry, Coach.
Shoo. What a great interview, man.
I told you.
You've known her for a while, right?
I've known her for, 40 years? 40,
right.
Over 40 years.
So whenever she was in your class as a student,
Not 40. Let's see.
Did you know that she was going to be something special?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was special then. Yeah, I've known her for a little over 30 years, I guess, since around 1988, something like that.
But when you sit there and say she'll take down any wall, like you can
Yeah.
immediately pick that up.
I mean,
Like that is just so. It's just something I don't know. Like when I don't know. She makes me want to get deep. I sit here and say,
Yeah,
you got
man.
another one on the way, and I got a second kid on the way. You know,
And the story, man, like where she's come from, where she's at now, man, it
When
is
look at
truly
these girls
inspirational.
around this
talks
world,
to
and
these
it's like
13, 14-year-old kids, they're moved by it.
Yeah.
Because they can see themselves in her.
well,
'Cause she
imagine being a
tells
young
them-
female.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially.
It's like it's not
course,
hard in today's world.
the guys
It's not
are
hard. Sorry, it's very hard.
the 14-year-old boys are enamored with her, obviously.
Yeah.
But the girls are like completely like, I could do
Locked-
this.
yeah, like
Maybe I
completely
could
locked
do
in.
this.
That's why I asked the office question, because I feel like
Yeah.
when she was like my office and stuff like that, for people, like sometimes you feel like you don't deserve it. And again,
Yeah.
it's like I don't have like an office with my name on the plaque, but it's
Her
like
office is in,
Tony, we're doing the show in my back room.
exactly.
her office is in Covington, and got pictures all over the walls.
We're doing
Famous athletes.
I
will
was
say
about to say, I would love to say we have an office, but it's my second living room.
But this is what I mean about her, though. She's made it. She did good
I
stuff.
feel like I learned
Be more
on
like
this
her,
one
damn it.
than I have any other podcast we've done. I've learned
Oh
more
yeah,
today.
dude. And I've been more I have never been more motivated either.
I have a
mean,
great Jim Valvano story for
I'm
some
ready.
time. You don't have to hear it today, but
I would
here today.
I would
I'm ready
love
to
to
hear it.
enjoy Jimmy V more than just the guy on the TV who gave that
so
TED
I was
speech.
at a clinic in 1985. This was after he won the national title. I was an assistant coach at Greenfield. We're out. We're in a bar. Bar clears out. There's like 6 of us at a table. Jim Valvano and Dick Vitale come walking in. No one else was in the hotel bar. They look at us and walk straight back and go, "You guys mind if we sit down?" Hell no. So, go ahead.
Obviously not.
So
You mean in my seat?
that's when I first met Vitale. But anyway, Vitale ended up leaving, and Valvano just stayed there shooting the breeze with us. One of the guys at our table was the head coach in Southern Ohio, and he's passed away, so I don't want to tell the story. Well,
He's passed away. He can't get
he
in trouble
coached at
now.
Wheelersburg and South Point. Yeah, he's got kids that are around.
Okay, gotcha.
But anyway, it's nothing bad. But we go back to the room, and the head coach from the school I was at and I were sitting across from each other, and the head coach at South Point was sitting across from Valvano, and we were just talking about sport, basketball and stuff. And we started talking about how a lot of basketball players don't get along with their football coaches. And this is like in a room in the Kentucky Hyatt, the Lexington Hyatt. And Valvano said, I always got along with them. Even when I was younger, I got along with all the my football coaches. And this coach from South Point said, it's not true. There's no way. And he's pointing at he's talking to Valvano, and Valvano goes, you're wrong, and starts poking at him. And this guy from South Point grabbed this guy was a national championship coach, grabbed his hand, and he said, he had a Southern accent, and said, I don't know about that, but if you don't get your finger out of my chest, I'm going to break your arm. Like that.
To Jimmy V.
And Valvano just said, okay, sorry, man.
I don't have problems with football coaches, but I have found a basketball coach that I now have a
Something he tells me he's from the East Coast.
True story.
Something
We do not.
He's from the East
Joe Biden walks in this thing and says, "Give me your sandwich."
Jerry
Listen here, buddy, earn it.
Jerry Tarkanian was also at the table that night.
What an amazing.
Tark the Shark.
He said, something tells me that he is from the East Coast.
I'm just-
Well, speaking of Jimmy V, speaking of Misty V, speaking of absolute winners, Adina, like we mentioned earlier, they won their 37th school district title. Beat Titletown, Wheelersburg, who was 21-3 in a 3-0 set. They even beat Westfall in a semifinals. So they beat SVC school, like we always talk about SVC versus SVC. I mean, Adidas is basically the Alabama of volleyball. I mean, it's getting insane at this point.
Is Misty still with us? Should we still be talking to her?
Oh no, that's a frozen image. Oh nope. Oh, never mind. Misty is still there.
Put her back on the damn show. We ended the interview, and now you get to end the episode.
We thought you were gone.
But no. So they win another one, and then Southeastern. We love Southeastern here, Tony. I know you're kind of close to them and everything like that, but they were up 2-0 on Nelsonville, York.
Clay looks at me and goes, Southeastern is about to win.
I said, hey, Southeastern about to win.
So I gathered 2 things from this conversation.
And then
One, you are the freaking reason they lost because
Nope.
you jinxed them. 2, it's a sign of a young team. You
Yeah.
got a new coach. You come in. If you're doing really well, you're doing those things early on. If you have a veteran team, you're playing these teams like when you get to these higher up games, it just becomes a different story.
I
And
would
it's-
speak more on this game because I watched the first 2 sets. They go up 2-0. It was amazing, and I told Adam, I'm like, well, yep, Southeastern also winning a district title. Turn it off. Got on Twitter about an hour later, and I was like, oh, Nelsonville York beat Southeastern. I did not see that coming at all. So I have no comments on the game or anything like that. I just think I thought it was crazy because normally Southeastern is the one that's down
It comes back.
and comes back. And then this time they got, dare I say, tasted their own medicine.
Yeah, shout Josie though. You know, when you're
Yeah.
like a point scorer and stuff like that, like I just, it's one of those things. You know, you start off early. Is it stamina? Is it one of those types of things? And it's not that they don't have other good players. It's just she's the best. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason why you get Player of the Year. No one else on the team is Player of the Year as well. So
And like you said, it's a young team, you know, have maybe not been in that moment quite enough. You know,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, speaking of being in the moment, Sean Miller's extended as Xavier, boys. Shout out. Congratulations to him.
Big Sean.
Yeah, him and probably means Dante will be there for a little bit longer as they get their season underway here this Monday on the 6th is their opener. I think I want to say it's against Robert Morris, but I also feel like that's super wrong. So I don't know.
Robert Morris.
Yeah, he gets extended
Earl Watford.
a few things. So this is
Earl Robert.
what yeah, you got there. But this is his second stint at Xavier. His first stint 04 to 09, won 3 conference championships in 07, 08, 09. You know who's part of those? Dante Jackson. And then he made it to the Sweet 16 in 09, Elite 8 in 08, 8 and 8. A10 Coach of the Year in 08. Came back in 2022 after, some things happened at Arizona that we won't talk about. And then went 27 and 10 last year, making it to the Sweet 16. I think this is a good hire for Xavier. I think you keep when somebody's winning, you sign them and let them know, like, hey, you're not coaching for your job anymore. You're here to stay, and we believe in you. So
It is Robert Morris, by the way.
It is Robert Morris. Hey, look at me remembering stuff. Tony, what do you think about Sean Miller being extended?
Robert Morris sounds more like someone that makes an air fryer to me. But that's fine. You
Why
can
an
go to
air
that
fryer?
college. I don't know. Like Robert Morris, it sounds like, I don't know, Keyshawn Johnson or Sean Johnson. What's that thing?
George
What's
Foreman
the
grill.
Johnson
I was about to
Johnson?
what?
George Foreman.
Yeah, he
George
sounds like
Foreman.
Keyshawn Johnson. He didn't make anything.
You know what I mean?
It sounds
though, right?
similar.
Yeah. But yeah, he's back there now. The top 25 for basketball is officially. I had to get away from that. I didn't know where we were going, so we're just going to the top 25 in basketball. Kansas, they come out number 1. Duke's number 2. It looks like Purdue and Michigan State made the top 4, and Marquette rounds out the top 5. So 2 Big Ten schools in the top 25. What I think is crazy is North Carolina started number 1 last year, got absolutely ran out of college basketball. They come in at number 19 this year, with Alabama down at 24 and St. Mary's being at 23. Tony, who are you liking in college basketball this year?
Annoyingly, I came across that flag went to Duke.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
just spread the love.
Why
It's
not go to
NIL.
another
You can
school
pick
that
whatever
hasn't
school
won a
you
lot
want.
and then be the first person to win a lot?
You got no excuse. Now
Yeah.
you're just going there because you're a front runner. It's
Yeah.
literally Krzyzewski's gone, dude. You're
Yeah.
not going there for the best coach in the game. Like
Yeah, you're
Kyrie
just
Irving
going
is
there to
like,
say
I
you went
love
to Duke.
Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
I see your reason. Now you pick up like Krzyzewski 0.25.
No, maybe
Yeah.
this kid has been a Duke fan his whole entire life, and he's
Well, then he needs to have better
The
parents.
saddest part is he's not from North Carolina.
So yeah,
So
yeah.
he's either a front runner.
Shu, you told me an interesting fact that in North Carolina, you run into more North Carolina fans to where when you're outside North Carolina is when you start
Well,
running into the
we
Duke
had a-
fans.
It's like the Dallas Cowboys.
My ex-wife and I had a
Bums.
cottage at the Outer Banks, so we knew a lot of people in North Carolina. There are literally no Duke fans in North Carolina. They're mostly from the Northeast. I could be wrong on the numbers here, but this is close. North Carolina is like 85% North Carolina people or surrounding states.
Right.
Duke is like 10% are from North Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, they.
It's all outside North
Yeah,
Carolina.
yeah.
It's like a brand thing. It's like
Yeah,
you go there and say,
well,
I went to Duke.
yeah.
Oh, dude, it's that way. Like when you're applying for schools, because growing up in the greater Philadelphia area, like some of these kids went to Duke.
Yeah.
The second they even said they applied,
You're like, all right, well,
they
we're not friends.
became. Oh, well, I applied. to Duke
I can only imagine
last
someone
Thursday."
going up to Tony in high school and be like, hey, man, I just applied to Duke.
And
Tony
I
be
would
like,
look at him and be like,
"Okay,
it's crazy that my
pal."
GPA is higher than yours and you're applying to Duke. You guys forget that it's like I was number 3 in my class.
I'm excited to see FAU. They're ranked 10 right now. So I
Yeah,
was
man,
kinda
after going to the
surprised-
Final
yeah.
Four, yeah, I'm excited to see them as well.
It's fascinating the way the North Carolina Duke dynamic happened. Dean Smith had been there since the 64. We may have talked this with Gary.
Yeah,
Williams a
Gary
little
said
bit.
he played and coached.
Yeah, but Dean Smith was a liberal, and like he sat at the fountains, you know, when African Americans were trying to integrate the little
School.
diners and
Yeah.
stuff, you know, and Dean Smith would sit with them. Krzyzewski, on the other hand, is more of a conservative,
Yeah.
you know.
Military based.
Yeah,
He
so
went to the academy. as
yeah,
well.
so say they didn't just clash on the basketball and philosophy, but on life philosophies too.
Yeah, it was like a true rivalry there. Keeping it in college basketball, we have another ranking. Top 10 student sections have been named going into the year from Andy Katz. This is from the NCAA March Madness Twitter. So number 1, we have Puke. Number 2, we have Michigan State. Number 3, we have Purdue. 4, we have Kansas State. 5, we have Kansas. 6, we have Illinois. 7, Auburn.
I know Auburn was doing that.
What?
That's why I had to tilt your phone to see
Yeah.
which one that was. 'Cause
8, UConn. 9, Grand Canyon. And 10, San Diego State.
Grand
Well,
Canyon, that's a good fan base because their campus is beautiful.
Well-
it's like it's no
Andy Katz, I officially don't respect your opinion anymore because this is a terrible top 10 list. Coach,
UConn being so low.
That was
surprising.
top 10 what?
top 10 student sections.
Oh,
I thought
yeah,
that was a
don't
pretty
know.
shit list for
Yeah, I
top
don't
10.
know.
I think after hearing some stories, definitely Maryland should be in there. One thing, and I know Ohio State fans are going to hate me, one thing I don't like about Ohio State basketball is they clearly stole the Cameron Crazy's idea from
Yeah.
Duke, where they try to make the bottom section. Like,
Yeah.
I think you're with me on this. When you make your own traditions, you don't need to copy everybody else and try to make that your tradition.
I would say the OHIO thing was originally an OU, like Ohio
Athens.
University thing.
Yeah.
Because they're Ohio. Otherwise, they should be spelling out OHIOSTATE.
Yeah,
You know?
it would be the whole thing. But yeah, not a lot of schools I agree with us on. Very much 7, 9, and 10. Don't understand it. Kansas State, maybe just from where they're good this year. Shu, what's a college that you'd probably put in this top 10 that you don't see in here? Like
Well,
maybe
you,
it just comes
you,
off the top
you
of your
told the story a little bit last week with
Yeah.
Gary, but I used to sit right behind the bench. One time this is sort of an offshoot of a story, but I would see people, like they were all kind of famous people going to the games back then, because College Park is right in D.C. And I sit down at my seat, and my wife's here, and I look at this guy, and I go, man, I know this guy from somewhere. It was like a long-lost uncle or something. And it hit me. I was sitting by Johnny Unitas. He was sitting right beside me.
Look like my long lost uncle, Johnny.
But anyway,
Uncle Johnny, what's up?
anyway, they were playing Duke one game, and I'm sitting there. I hear a big roar. I look around, and there's this guy with a Duke hat right in the middle of the Maryland section, and they're all just taunting him and yelling at him, and he's giving them the finger and stuff. And I laugh and turn back around, and I hear another roar, and I turn around and see the hat being passed through the Maryland section, and I think it's funny, and the guy's cussing at him. I hear another roar, turn back around, and someone has the hat on a stick, and it's burning, like it's on fire.
And
they're
they're just waving it around like a
waving it.
battle cry.
Or lighter fluid or something. to lit it. Yeah, so Maryland,
Got to be in the top
Yeah.
10, I would say. That's honestly probably one of my favorite Maryland stories that you've ever told me.
they played Duke. There was a big scandal with Duke. There was a guy named Myron Piggy. This was the guy's actual name, who gave money to players to go to Duke, and it was a big scandal in the late '90s. Myron Piggy, you can look it up. Well, the Duke fans used to research the Duke Pep section used to research the Maryland players and try to find information, right? So a fan from Maryland found out that they were trying to get information, and this guy from Maryland fed them information and said, yeah, Steve Blake's dating a girl named Myra, and her nickname for him is Piggy. So at Cameron Indoor Stadium, the students start chanting Myra and Piggy. And it sounded
Steve?
like Myron Piggy, who was the guy who, and Krzyzewski's turning around. Like,
No, we don't want to. No.
Yeah, they planted this on purpose.
Yeah, that's insane.
They thought they were making fun of Steve Blake, but they were actually chanting the name of a guy who.
That's playing chess instead of checkers
Classic.
right there.
That's what I'm saying. The guy that literally said that is like nailing it.
Gotcha.
That guy is just one of those guys that's quiet.
He was like, "Here's what you can do. Steve's dating a girl named Myra, and she calls him Piggy. Chant Myra and Piggy. It'll really get in his head."
Little bitches. Dude, I can just imagine him watching the game
You
and be
imagine-
like, "Oh, I got him."
Gary told me one time that the Duke fans, Cameron Crazy, started chanting this, and he glanced down and Krzyzewski's going, "What the hell?"
Could you
And he's
imagine
like,
Mike in the middle of the game like, "Shit, no!"
You know he's trying to act natural too. Like,
He's like, I was telling one of my players to quit
That's
fouling.
next
Like,
level stuff, man.
that's awesome.
So Maryland, I don't know if it's the same. See, they were in Cole Fieldhouse back then, which was amazing. Now they're in. It used to be the Comcast Center. It's beautiful, but it's like the Shot or
Yeah,
something.
it's kind of like
dude,
what,
it's so. I'm sorry, just real quick.
No,
It's
go
so
ahead.
crazy when I hear words from like my area to here. So when
Yeah.
you guys hear Horizon, that means nothing to anyone in the Northeast.
no.
But you know it's cable.
Yeah.
He said Comcast.
Yeah.
That's my cable company.
Oh,
Do you know how often I get to hear Comcast? That's like
I was wondering where
I
Horizon
knew
was going.
Comcast
That's what I mean.
because I
That's
work in
Spectrum.
phones,
That's
but
like
yeah.
stuff like that we don't have back there.
Yeah.
But it's like when you say Comcast, I'm like,
Tony's
That's like
got-
the internet of the East Coast.
it's getting harder to be on the show.
You can probably relate to this. In a small area like this, it's different than living in a big city. Like we, obviously, but like Cole Fieldhouse is inside of D.C., right? And D.C. is like a mile down the road.
Yeah.
And there was a little kid at camp, and he was having a tough time, so I was trying to talk to him, and I said, "Are you from around there?" And he went, "No." And I said, "Where are you from?" And I thought he was going to say North Carolina or somewhere, and he said, "D.C." And like D.C. was like,
You from around here? No.
but to them, it was a totally different place.
Yeah.
See what I'm
People
saying?
still give me crap for even saying that I'm from Philly.
Yeah.
But my thing is I'm not from Philly if I'm home.
Yeah.
But I am from Philly if you leave the state and nobody has
Yeah.
any idea
Yeah.
what being 10
You
minutes
just say
outside of
Philly.
Philadelphia
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you sit there and it's the same thing. That
Yeah.
kid, to other people in his hometown, he can't say he's from D.C.
Yeah,
He's
'cause-
from Virginia.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he doesn't live in D.C.
DC,
or he's
gotcha.
from Maryland or he's from those states. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy.
That's like kind of saying like, in like you go to Untitled and you're like from Chile, like even though you are, but like
If you leave the state, where do you say you're from?
Chillicothe,
And they'll be like, what?
30 minutes south of Columbus.
You live
Yeah.
30 minutes south
Yeah.
of
I had to
Columbus.
Yeah.
say Southern
That's
Ohio.
where you live.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't live in Chillicothe when you
Yeah.
leave the state. You live 30 minutes south of Columbus.
That's
And
true.
that's what I tell my friends when I go home is I live 30 minutes south of Columbus.
And the people out there, like on the eastern seaboard, they don't understand either.
30 minutes.
Well,
your role.
that's what I was going to tell you. Like, I would go watch players for Maryland, you know, and they would call me like on a Monday at 3:00, and they go, "Hey, can you go up? Can you go to Akron and catch this kid's game at 6:30?" It's 3.5 hours. What are you talking
If I
about?
don't stop driving, like if I don't pull over,
But
for
out
gas
there,
or
you can
anything.
go from Philly to D.C. in what?
If you took a train, like
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm dead. You take the Amtrak from DC to Philly. I'm not kidding you. It might be 30 minutes.
And they all
'Cause it's a
think
straight shot.
they all think Ohio is like Akron and Canton and like small
Oh,
yeah.
built
stuff's like
and
right on top of
factories.
each other.
Yeah.
And steel They don't know how beautiful it is.
I don't know
in
how much
Southern
corn
Ohio.
we got out here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seeing the Kern.
I'm sitting here and like when I first moved out here, people were like, "Oh, we're picking this dude up to go to the party," and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. Like, where's he at?" And they were like, "Oh, well, like he's 30 minutes this way." I'm like, "Wait, what? We're going 30 minutes out of our way to pick up somebody? Like, no way." In Philly, if you were not on the
He's
straight
actually
block schedule-
meeting us about 15 minutes closer.
and that's what's nuts to me is I'm like, to me, like driving 30 minutes and 30 minutes there, 30 minutes to go get somebody, they better be your best freaking
Better
friend.
have some good beer, pal.
I had a coach from Maryland that was traveling to Chicago, and he was driving for something, and he said, "I'm gonna be coming through Ohio. You want me to, sweep by and maybe we have a bite to eat or something?" I said, "Dude, you're going to be going across You're 3 hours north of me. You can't just stop in.
So many people do that to me too. They'll
Stop in
literally
and
be
say
like,
hi.
going to Cleveland, you want me to stop by? And I'm like, I mean, you're still like, it's not like you're gonna pass through my hometown on the way there. Like, if you want to take an hour and a half, kind of jot out to the side.
It's like, I mean, if you like me that much, sure,
I got
man.
an extra room, man. Like,
Don't.
come
Hey,
sleep
listen.
on my floor.
My out of town friends don't do that for me because I might tell you I'll meet you, and then you'll get there and be like, I'm not feeling it. anymore.
They can't comprehend the vastness of our country.
It's the
you know?
truth. The 30
Yeah.
minutes to me, 30 minutes out of the way is crazy. to me.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like that to me.
I drove
being
30
like,
minutes to
we're
school
just
every
picking
day.
them up to go to the party that's in the same town as you. Are you kidding me?
Leaving the
party's
city.
6 minutes away, and we're gonna take an hour to get there? Nah.
My ex-wife's parents would come here, and they lived in Niles, and they would drive to Warren, and it was 7 miles away, but it took a half hour.
Yeah.
Yet when they were down here and we'd be out in Bourneville, and we'd say, hey, we're going to go to Chillicothe. They think, oh, that's a long way. I don't know if we want to,
Yeah.
It took the same time.
As-
But to them, it was like
forever.
so far away.
Yeah. That's
Weird.
It's the truth. It really is a concept, dude. It was
Yeah.
really hard for me out here because screw everybody.
Screw everybody. Well, hey, talk about screw everybody. You guys ready to get to our draft?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So today in our draft, we are drafting the worst place for a first date. So say you ask somebody out on a date, they say yes. We should have probably asked Misty this because it sounds like she's been
she
to
would've been
a
great.
bunch of these.
She would have been great. Hey,
but-
she's still there.
Share. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been better.
But
Or
yeah,
she
we're saying
frozen?
Nah, I think they froze.
you're
it.
saying
Ah.
after a bunch of time thinking about it, you don't want to ever see this person again, so you're going to take them on a terrible first date, and that's how you're going to end it. We're going to start with you, Tony. Tony, where's your first place for a terrible date?
I'm just watching my phone trying to keep up with what you just said.
No.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Why is it still
I
there?
hate you so
Anyways,
much.
wait, what? Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. So, I got some good ones. Oh man, the number one pick's tough. So let's go. I'm going for a. I want it to be nice, and I want it to be cool and everything like that. So I figure, looking at my wallet, it doesn't look like a Bible.
You're still letting it type while we're talking, right?
I hit the backspace button and that didn't work. Please.
I thought
fix
this
it.
was a bad.
I don't know why. It
I
won't.
thought this
bad
was a
first.
bad date.
Yeah.
So hold on. No, she's going on a nice picnic. In her parents' bedroom. Her parents' bedroom. You go to the parents' bedroom and you say, our first date is in your parents' bedroom. Is that
Okay.
right?
You're.
That's
okay.
weird.
Her parents.
It's weird. That's why it's the worst.
Kind of
I'm sitting here. What are you going to say, McDonald's and
Kind of
shit?
a-
Somebody's going to come up with
I
something.
had-
I'm going to be
I
like,
had-
dude, this is whack. I would
I
go to
had
McDonald's.
parents' house.
Kind
I'm
of-
not going to use it
There you
anymore.
go.
It would be like it'd be like my mom's basement, but that's going to be like the
Yeah,
same thing.
it's like you don't
Kinda-
want to be around it. I thought I don't want to bring her to my house, and then I'm like, what's even worse?
All right.
Making the date at her
What
house.
if your house is your parents'
And
house?
then what if it's even in
Oh,
your
God.
parents' bedroom?
Oh, God.
Then you're getting crumbs in your parents' bedroom while inadvertently knowing you were made there,
He said,
while
yeah.
inadvertently
Our
knowing
fir-
you're starting a relationship.
Our
to
first date
possibly
was
make
in
your
our
grandchild.
parents. Her parents.
You could be potentially conceiving a grandchild in your parents' bedroom.
All right,
I
Adam,
don't know
what is
kind
your
of,
first
I
place?
don't know what kind of fetishes you have. But we probably don't want to dig too much deeper.
The answer is foot.
I think
Tarantino.
I
Foot
think
fetish.
you just found that out
I
today. I'm gonna have to go with strip club.
Strip.
Probably gonna be one of the worst first dates. Strip club.
Oh my God, that would be terrible.
It really would be way too expensive.
Depends on the date, actually.
Yeah, I guess. What if this date was? What if she was a stripper? You just took her to work.
Discounts.
That would be an awful. That would be an awful date for me. It's
Okay.
like I'm taking you and I got this. Is
So
awful.
listen, this is. I think it's great. The more I think about it, I don't think any of you guys are gonna think it's great, but I don't care. So my worst first date, my first pick would be the Titanic. If I took her for my first date to be on the Titanic,
That's worse than like your parents' bedroom.
because
I got a bunch of crap. For
you're
crappy
you're
answers.
not
That's
gonna live to
crappy
see the
as
day to
fuck.
talk about it. So
That's crap.
Well,
that's
my
my
thing is,
bad
like-
first date.
It would probably seem.
No, old Titanic. Yeah, the one where they all died, Derek.
Well, you
Or
could say,
the
you could say
Titanic.
the new Titanic,
Yeah,
the one where they all died.
Yeah.
because that just
That's true.
happened. Like,
True. Whichever one you want to be, that's our first date. That would be. Hey, babe, first date, you want to go see the Titanic? Nah.
first date, we're going to Ocean Gate, baby.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Alrighty, Shoe. What do you have? 2 picks in a row. What's
Yeah,
your
well,
first
first of all, I know where this list came from. Some crazy woman she posted something on Reddit or something that said, "Here's places men don't take your women here on a first date," and one of her items on the list was the Cheesecake
I
Factory.
knew he was going to say this.
And no, don't say that.
Okay.
I'm just saying the Cheesecake Factory is delightful.
I've never been.
That's
there.
a good
That was
place to
what
go.
Why?
I've
what-
never been to a
I would
Cheesecake
not want to
Factory.
date this woman.
So my thought process is that they're
Must
saying
not be
it's too
reasonably fit.
generic. I'm like, you're dumb. That is delicious food, delicious dessert. Why is that a bad thing? And they follow it up with
No.
like Applebee's
That's
right after that.
ridiculous.
Shout
Yeah.
bees.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, there's a
Hey,
song
go
about
get
it.
your.
If you don't-
hey,
if you don't enjoy
Applebee's is a great
Dollaritas-
first date. Dollaritas. Come on.
I just took Trevor Medley on a date there last night.
Derek, zoom in onto my face. I know you can't do that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Zoom in on my face. It's called the 2 for $20, bud. Applebee's ain't on this list.
All right, so Shu, what are your first two
I'm
picks?
going to go take your date to see your mother in prison.
All right.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
So,
See your mother in prison.
Prison.
And what is your second one, Shu?
Take your date to see your mother in her halfway house.
All right. See your mother in the halfway house.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's probably been a lot of first dates like that in Chillicothe.
Yeah.
All right. All righty. So I'm back to my second pick for worst first date. I think what I'll have to go with is taking your first date to the restaurant where your ex is the server. That would be a terrible first date.
Yeah,
So, ex as server, that would go with my first one. No, I've never done that. Before you guys are thinking, I have never done that.
that sounds like a power move.
It sounds like it could have happened to you.
Shut up, Adam.
Like last night when I took Teabag to
Yeah.
Applebee's.
No, I was the bartender.
I know.
Alrighty, Adam. So your first pick was strip club. Where are you going with number 2?
Number 2 is going to be I guess it would be like a STD TED Talk. Like a safe
what?
a safe sex TED Talk.
Oh.
Just because of all the images and stuff like that they're going to be showing. It's just like the most off-putting thing you can do.
An STD TED Talk. All
Yeah,
right.
Like a safe sex TED Talk.
Safe sex.
Yeah. I feel like that would just be an awful first date.
Just because of the show I'm currently watching, that is hilarious.
Yeah. That's kind of where I got it from, dude.
Alrighty, Tony, you got 2. What are your next 2?
There's one, an understaffed Taco Bell.
Oh my
here's
God!
the reason.
There is nothing worse than an understaffed
'Cause
Taco.
not only are you waiting for your food, you're getting crappier food that hasn't been cleaned as well or prepped as well. So then when you get
and
it,
you're getting
not
yelled
only-
at for being there.
You're you're waiting longer. You're getting freaking yelled at, and you're pooping twice as long.
Alrighty, so
Gift that keeps on giving.
understaffed Taco Bell. What are you going with your second pick, Tony?
Got creative with that one.
That was a good one. That I can feel that one in my heart.
When you want to take a girl to look at good architecture and good, different things like that, you take her to the mead. Bring that piece to the mead.
Hey, the mead used to have a swimming pool. Am I right, Coach?
Look, here's my deal.
Yes, it was
Oh,
great.
dude. Yeah.
That was awesome.
My father-in-law talks about riding
Oh,
down
yeah.
there on the bikes all the time. All that being said, okay, if you might have gotten off work and you're trying to be quick and you need to go on a date, maybe you stink a little bit. Maybe you pull the meat off. You go down there and be like, babe, this place smells like crap. And even if it doesn't, you're not piping this
Maybe you pull the meat off. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm going to use the meat as a cover-up for me being a stinky ass. All
That's
righty.
precisely what I'm getting at.
Adam, you have strip club. You have an STD TED Talk. What are you going with?
That's going to be hard to beat.
What are you going with your third?
All right, for my third one, I just thought
Hold
of
on,
it.
I'm sorry.
I think we got to end this right now. I think it's over.
We can't just graze over that twice. Can you imagine walking in and not telling the date?
I know.
But I still want the food set up like it's a date. I don't want this, even a server, maybe. I'll call my buddy up and tell him to be there, dude.
Oh my God.
Pulling up a bag of bags.
Adam, what's your third pick?
I feel like if you took a date to your, self-circumcision.
Hey,
Not only are you 9 years old, realizing you got a turtleneck, you're just like, hey, girlfriend.
Hey, Spencer Hayward did his when he was like 13, 14.
Use a rock.
With the rock, you just do it by yourself. You throw it on the table. You
quit.
take that rock and you just cut the end
I'm
of it
done
off.
with it. I've been watching way too much caveman shit for this, okay? I've been on Quebec Tepe for weeks. Pre-Ice Age civilizations are ruined for me.
Alrighty, so Adam's gonna win
My
another
ears hurt.
draft. All right, so Adam, your 3 picks are a strip club, an STD TED Talk, and your own circumcision.
No, a self-circumcision. You
Oh,
have to be doing it to yourself.
Yeah, on brand for the show. We start and end the show with self-circumcision. That's something that you probably could have guessed. Alrighty, I have Titanic. I have a restaurant with your ex as a server. Man, I've been laughing so hard I couldn't even really think of another pick.
Me either.
Man,
I'm lost. I
Yeah.
only have one more.
I got these. Like that one right there.
Adam, you really
Second one?
took the strip club for me. I really thought I was going to get that later in the draft.
I've been to enough to know that that is not a place you want to take a date.
Okay. I will say a bad place. I'm going to go with the example. I'll put a graveyard. Definitely don't want to take your first date to a graveyard and see a bunch of haunted people. Shoe.
Bunch of haunted
I don't know about you, Clay, but
I
like
don't think it's
spooky
really
goth
that
girls,
bad
so.
until you roll up and be like, oh, that's old Ernie's grave over there. And it's like you've been there before, and you're like, whoa. Oh, until she knows.
Yeah, it's like I'm the first one. No, I'm not the first one. Are you right here?
No, not even that. She's just up there for no damn reason. That's even worse. I'd rather somebody else take her up there for a date than come up there and be like, oh, you just hang out here? Fucking freak.
Alrighty. Shoe, you got 2 more picks. You have see your mother in prison, see your mother in the halfway house.
Well, I got a theme going here. So, seeing your mother in the hospital after an overdose.
All right.
See, I like these because like the
seems-
mom has to cook a lot
It
of the
seems
time,
very
so maybe-
weak after hearing Adam's stuff.
it's very weird. All
Or
right, Shoe.
Tony's, I mean.
I know you said you only had one more, but you have one more pick. What do you got?
Okay, you take your date to visit your grandma at her place of business, which is a brothel.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
my God!
No, we're gonna go visit my grandma. At
Hey,
work.
I
You
got
show
stopped
me-
by. I got stopped by grandma's work for about 20. She owes me $20.
Hey, I'm kind of strong. I'm happy.
She rolls up, pimp smacks somebody, said, "Give me the $20 and shut the hell up." Little Jimmy, I know your birthday just happened. Here's a fresh Andrew Jackson.
Oh my
Give me
God!
the
Is that
day.
Mr. Jackson, our neighbor?
I'll take the fried bologna sandwich. Not tonight, honey.
Not
You know
tonight.
You know what that is on Thursdays. Anyways, date, please. Yeah, don't get the fried bologna.
Oh my goodness! Alrighty.
Can you tell I'm thinking about Taylor Stagbar? Give me that freaking bushwhacker. Do you know what the bushwhacker? That's the
So-
best sandwich in town.
Yeah, we've talked
I think
about
you've
this
talked
before.
about it. But I don't. Yeah,
I think about it all the time.
I think about a
I
cozy
think about you
tenderloin.
all the time.
All
I
the
see
time.
you in my dreams.
Alrighty, I got one more pick. I have the Titanic X as your server, and a graveyard. I think I'm going to end it with. You know, I'm going to piggyback off of Shoe here. He said take her to your grandma's work where it's a brothel. I'm going to say take her to your work where you're a porn star. So that is going to be a bad first date there. Adam, you got one more pick
How come I never get to pick?
because you have one more. You have one more pick after this. Adam, what is your last
Derek
pick?
said I get one more pick.
I'm gonna have to go and just somebody else's house.
Okay, you can mail it in, but you already won.
It's like just some random person's house. You just
You were
drive
gonna
down
date?
the road and you're.
It's like you were
That's
gonna
a
date.
good
Yeah,
one.
where are we going? Yeah, my buddy Brian. He's
No,
got
no. You don't know the person. You just.
Oh, just some random stranger.
Now hold on. It's either
You
random.
just. Oh, there's one. Let's go. Lights are off.
Doesn't look like anybody lives here.
You just pick one that's eating dinner. Like, oh, they're already eating.
Yeah, hey, we don't have to wait for the food, man. Just walk in there.
It's just like, man, family, friends, my first date. They're gonna act like they don't know me.
It's a funny joke. They'll get over. They might even call the cops. Okay,
You just open the door and you're like, "Hey, do I seat myself?" Or
They'll be like, "Who the hell are you?"
Oh, cheddar broccoli, my favorite. Just rolling starting and be like, oh no, I didn't want to come in. I just smelt it.
It's
my
like they
favorite."
walk in. Oh, look, they're having crab. She's allergic to shellfish.
In my country, we do that. You're from Philly. Oh,
Yeah, in my country.
It's the country of Philly, damn
In
it.
the country of Philadelphia. This is what we do. Alrighty, Tony. You have one more pick. You have your parents' bedroom. Oh, sorry, their parents' bedroom. Not even your own. Their parents' bedroom. An understaffed Taco Bell. And the mead. What are you going with your last pick?
The Subway.
Like
I'm gonna
the
take her
train
to,
station, right?
Yeah,
Not
yep.
this restaurant.
No. I'm
Gotcha.
gonna take her on the Subway because I'm gonna take her to see the sights.
Okay, so
And one
hold on,
fell
hold on.
swoop for
What
$6.
city? What city?
No, it depends. So you're gonna ask me what city I like and what I don't like because
No,
the
what city are you taking her on for it to be a terrible day on the train station?
For me, it's Seattle.
Oh, I like it.
I'm going with New York.
Yeah, it's horrible up there, but hold on, there's stuff that's worse, and do you know why? Because Dallas exists. The biggest stain on the United States of America, in a country that is known for nothing but greatness, preaches nothing but freedom. We have a stain on the underpants that is America. It's Dallas, Texas.
All right, so he's going to take her to a Dallas, Texas subway. All right.
The worst.
Saw a
Oh my
fight.
God, I don't even want to do that. I'm done.
Well, all righty. So, Tony, he is done after completing his team and the draft. He gets parents' bedroom, understaffed Taco Bell, the mead, in the subway that's not in a city I'm allowed to talk about. Adam got a strip club, an STD TED Talk that I just can't get through, saying self-circumcision in somebody else's house. Sorry. Somebody else who is a stranger.
Yeah, you do not know this.
A stranger's house. That's where he's taking her. I drafted the Titanic, a restaurant with your ex as a server, a graveyard, and your job, which is you being a porn star. Shu got your mother in prison, your mother in a half. Sorry, you're not dating your mother. You're taking them to see your mother in prison, the halfway house, the hospital, and your grandma's work, which is a brothel. So I would say that is one of our most successful drafts, and I think that's a good way to end the show, guys. So if you're still with us, we don't know why, but thank you so much, Shu. Thank you for coming on the show with this three idiots. Big question before we get out of here. Who you guys got tonight? Lions or Raiders? Shu?
Lions.
All righty.
Lions for sure.
Yeah, I go.
Come on, St. Brown's not sick. He's active. We're good.
Brand new Lions, baby. Make sure that you're following us on Instagram at Ride the Wave Show. Following us on Twitter at Ride the Wave Show 2023. Checking out RtWavesports.com.
RtWavesports.com.
If you're a St. Trace football player, football fan, football student, or just a student, make sure you're there Wednesday, 6 o'clock for our game day, as we also will live stream the game. We will see you then. Peace out. Girl Scout.